Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Spideydude Experience, Season 2, Beyond. This episode, we're continuing the journey as we talk about Ben Reilly and Craven the Hunter. Before we get started, let's give a big shout out to her friends over at patreon.com/Spideydude Network. Vinkman, Scott, Greg, and Jurgen are great supporters, and we really eternally thank them for their support. They're going to be getting the latest episodes before everyone else starting tomorrow, including the most recent audio editions of this particular podcast, as well as Make Mine Mayday. But also, they're getting the early episodes of Voices from the Eerie, a Gargoyles podcast as well. So if you want to see what all the fun's about and get to see some more exclusives coming your way between now and the end of the year, at least the first ones, go to patreon.com/Spidey Network. As per usual, our disclaimer that we give on every episode is as follows. These shows are recorded live on YouTube and then are sent to our favorite podcast catchers like Spotify, Google, Amazon/Audible, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, and of course, the one that started it all, frankly, Apple Podcasts. As such, if you're listening to those platforms, you might hear us make some references to some visual cues that obviously aren't on the audio editions. So we're apologizing to you in advance, but be sure to let us know how we're doing by leaving us a review on your favorite platform, or send us an email at SpideyDudeRadioNetwork@gmail.com. Leave those 5-star reviews for us. And if you're watching this after the fact or during on YouTube, leave us a like, a share, and a subscribe, and leave a comment so we can continue to grow the channel. Also, be sure to listen to our other shows, such as Clone Saga Chronicles, Make Mine Mayday, Amazing Spider-Man Classics, Spectacular Radio, and Voices from the Eerie, a Gargoyles podcast. New episodes of that show coming to you soon, as it's gone now bi-weekly. So thanks for watching and listening, and enjoy the episode. Of course, I'm Zach Joyner, your friendly neighborhood host and webmaster / executive producer of the Spideydude Radio Network, and I'm excited to have my friends on for this one. We've got as I knocked him out,
put me back on air.
Neil Bogenreiter, ladies and gentlemen, the host of Voices from the Eerie, a Gargoyles podcast. Or Gargoyles.
That's very wrong, by the way.
That's not wrong. He's the host of Bogenreiter Variety Hour. Wow, what a screw up that was. Welcome, Neil.
Hi. So good news. That creaky chair, thing of the past.
Yeah,
that's it. I have. It is.
Supply chain crisis.
Well, actually, it's coming in like 3 to 5 days. It's the Shaquille O'Neal chair of all things.
Nice. You got a Shaq chair.
Yeah, they're actually really comfy to sit in.
Well, okay. Yeah, I'll have to come up and to your neck of the Houston area and sit in the chair.
Okay, so for one, so Matt says you sound really low and I sound really loud. Well, I'm always loud, so this isn't my fault.
Was I okay in the intro, though?
I mean, Venkman said that your audio is a little soft, but, you know.
Okay, let me do this. Is it better now?
I think that's better, yeah.
Okay, I'll just keep talking here in a second. And next up, we've got Adam.
Here, I'll make Adam solo. There we go.
Y'all. No, don't make me solo.
The California homeless man, despite the fact that he lives very much looks like he's living in a place.
Yeah.
I'll change it later. That was meant to be a placeholder, but I think that's what we're going to call him now.
Well,
you're now the Jim Gordon of this podcast.
Yeah.
Longtime listeners of other shows or other former co-hosts on other shows will understand that reference. Homeless cop.
Also, I appreciate now that Zach has given me a small sample of power that the show runs much smoother now.
Listen, having somebody to help produce the show is nice, but we do need more people to support us because it's for me.
Share this with your friends.
Yeah,
please.
Share this with your friends. We want to get the algorithm blowing and going. And I know, like guys like Vinkman, you're going to share this on Facebook as soon as you see it. I appreciate you, by the way. But yeah, no, I'm excited to be talking about these particular issues today, but we got some fun, goofy news topics that we're going to talk about first because we got Paul coming on. He's going to be on in about 30 minutes. Thanks to life, he can't be on until 9 p.m. Central.
So we have half an hour to fill.
So we've got some time to fill, and what better way than to find some absurd things on the internet? No, I'm kidding. We're going to talk about the. Raise your hand if you've not played the Avengers on PlayStation 4 / PlayStation 5 or your favorite next gen, current gen console. I have not played it.
I have.
I haven't either. I have not either.
It wasn't very good.
No.
That was the overwhelming consensus for me, and that was why I was like, no.
I got it on sale. Brad of all people actually recommended it. He got it because it was on sale and he enjoyed it probably because it was on sale. But like the two Hawkeye expansions really bumped the game up in quality, and then the Black Panther DLC and its updates. Yeah.
Nowhere to go but up. I mean, let's be real. Like, I don't think I've ever, because I mean, you look at what Guardians of the Galaxy did, and it, like universally, that thing has been beloved. By so many.
It's weird because I had like no expectations for that game going, and I thought it was gonna bomb same as this one.
That's true.
What was the OG Pizza Rat?
It's talking about Splinter from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Oh,
yeah.
He kind of does look like he could cosplay it.
Are we gonna call you Ratman, Radicus?
He is not because of his looks. He just has a wise look. Like that's what you have, Adam. You're
beyond his years.
You have a wisdom about you. You could be.
Thank you.
Boy,
I don't know why Adam sounded so dead inside when he did that.
So I also got a new piece of equipment. And I consider this a new piece of equipment because I'm going to be using it to do videos, solo video stuff. But I got a new iPhone, so if you see some cinematic mode iPhone videos, you know where those came from. It's a fun feature, by the way. I'll have to show you whenever I see you next time, Neil.
That sounds like a good idea.
By the way, me and the wife went to Freebirds the other day without you, and it just didn't feel right.
No, next time you should take me.
I know. It just felt like. So we were in Pasadena, and the wife was like, "I'm taking us somewhere to eat," and I'm like, "Okay." She's like, "And you're not gonna gripe," because I always give her a hard time about Freebirds. And
why? Do you not like it, or?
I mean, it's okay. It's not my favorite. I'm not a big Mexican food eater, so like.
Oh well, okay. Don't come to my house then.
When it comes to burritos, like those are the fanciest burritos I've ever eaten in my life.
Oh.
So
don't go to Chipotle then.
Yeah, like Chipotle, I felt was kind of vastly overrated. And then they had the E. coli outbreak, and I was like, I'm not missing on much.
No, you didn't. I think Freebirds has better. At the very least, Freebirds has better queso.
Well, I mean, that's because some California, no offense to Adam, some California Yankee didn't know how to make queso, and then they decided to just make cheese sauce. Sorry, Adam.
Are you talking about Freebirds or are you talking about Chipotle?
Chipotle.
Well, you realize that Freebirds started in California, though, right?
I know. Like, but they got their recipe from when they were in Austin.
Okay, I actually didn't know that. So.
Yeah.
Also, sorry, I'm moving my mic over to this side of the.
So yeah, welcome to the Spideydude Experience food chat.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, actually, that sounds like a
All
fun
your
thing. Like,
food-
we should talk about this. Like, what did you guys have for dinner today?
All your food
I'm
recommendations.
out of legit curiosity.
So I had Jack Daniel's pulled pork.
Ooh,
that sounds good.
Like they come in a package. They're over there by the deli, and they're prepackaged. They're refrigerated, prepackaged, and you just throw them in the microwave for like 3 minutes, and it's already got the barbecue sauce that like Jack Daniel's barbecue sauce with it, and it's phenomenal. Like for the money, yeah. And we even got my kid to eat it, and my kid does not eat. My kid is my child. She is
Mhm.
my child. I love her,
Zach sounds dead inside.
but sometimes
You're reminded of how much she's your child.
I am my ex-wife's husband, aka my husband-in-law. That's how much I affectionately call him that. Okay. He's made the joke that there's sometimes that he just wants to the me out of her. Um, and it's not just it's very clearly joke. We don't condone like a child abuse, but like this child, just the stuff that she's been able to get away with since I haven't been around all the time.
Zach looks about to cry, and I don't know whether or not I should laugh or cry with him.
This kid does not realize how spoiled she is, and she's learning. And then it's been an adjustment because I'm no longer the fun V. That's an Iron Man reference for those that are missing that at home.
No, I remember it now. It just kind of flew over my head for a couple seconds there.
But I got to be the fun dad for forever. And then now suddenly I'm no longer just the fun dad. I'm the dad that has to, actually enact discipline of some sort.
This is depressing. Jesus Christ.
It's a little different. It's just life. This is what happens when you become a parent.
Yeah.
I have loved every second of me being down here, though. Like, I hate the weather because there's no change in the weather other than it gets like mildly cold, and then you people down here start complaining about how cold it is, and I'm like, oh, you honey sweet child.
In fairness, I'm kind of one of those people.
Yeah, I know. That's why I'm giving you a hard time specifically at this moment.
Hey.
No, like, but it's true. Like, I was working with people, and they're like, "Oh, it's cold." I'm like, "Y'all don't know what cold is."
No, Venkman brings up dentist appointments. Yeah, I had a dentist appointment today too.
Oh yeah.
Went perfectly. No cavities.
That's good.
I just had to pick on snacks in the break room.
That's kind of how I was. I chose not to eat like a big lunch just because I didn't want to really spend a whole lot of money today, and then I didn't want to have too big of a mess to clean up because I wanted to go home and brush my teeth before I went to the dentist's office.
Yeah.
So I just got some chips and water bottles out of the break room and snacked during lunch period.
Yeah. So.
But I did organize the warehouse. So.
Oh.
I'm kind of the unofficial warehouse guy at work. So.
I get it. Completely get it.
We're gaining viewers talking about my job. Holy crap.
All right. Let's talk about the Avengers game.
Ew.
Okay, so obviously there was a DLC that was released, and this has been long rumored for a while. There was a massive data dump.
You want to pull that up real quick?
Yeah, pull that article up for me. Well, I kind of set the tone. So, the game came out in 2019, right?
2020. It got pushed back.
It got pushed back to 2020. And then everybody's like, "Oh, it got pushed back. Okay, it's gonna be a better game."
It was not.
It was not a better game.
But
was a disaster when it was released.
But basically the article's by Paul Tassi, and it covers a whole slew of data mines from the game. And while we knew about Kate Bishop and Hawkeye and Clint Barton Hawkeyes for a while now, and those are actually some of the better parts of the game. Like honestly, the DLC is better. The DLCs are better than the main game. Much as I love Kamala, she tries to carry the game.
That was a mistake, man. Like I don't
Well, no, Miss Marvel was the strongest part of the campaign, though.
I know, but like making her the strongest part, I just think that when your draw is
the Avengers,
you don't make Kamala Khan your draw.
You should have made an open world Miss Marvel game. But then again, no one wants to play in Jersey, so I understand why they didn't do it.
No one wants to associate with Jersey. I mean, let's be real.
But anyways, Miller, who I believe is a data miner, extracted files from the game for months and came up with artwork or voice work for the following characters: Black Panther, Spider-Man, War Machine, She-Hulk, Captain Marvel, Winter Soldier, Doctor Strange, Scarlet Witch, Vision, Mockingbird of all characters, which was kind of weird because not West Coast Avengers based. Marvel, Quake, very D-list choice. Wasp and Ant-Man.
But don't tell that to Ike Perlmutter.
Well, he thinks that anybody that's not Iron Man, Captain America, or Hulk is a D-lister.
Pretty much, even though they were all they were all like B and C listers before the MCU
movies.
MCU.
But yeah, I think at this point we're only getting Black Panther and Spider-Man, and even then Spider-Man's only on the PS4. But I think that all these ones, like War Machine and She-Hulk onward, we're never getting those.
Well,
no, like the way this. Okay, so the launch, everybody gets this game. This game got this big teaser back, like what was it, a year after the PS4 game?
Hey Zach, Venkman's saying you're still on the soft side a little bit.
No, that's because I was leaning back. That's why I'm like super close to the mic.
Okay.
But this was a hyped game. You had
this game was in development for like 5 years.
Yeah.
The development of this game, everybody saw the teaser. They were super excited. We finally getting it like a.
I was excited, hell, and I'm very hard to excite.
Well, the last Avengers level game on a console was Ultimate Alliance.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ultimate Alliance 2 back in 2006, I think.
Yeah,
probably.
It was 2007 because it was Civil War. They adapted the Civil War story, which they did it, frankly, better because you didn't have Mark Millar involved. But Ultimate Alliance 1 was a phenomenal game.
Well, I see several major factors that kind of factor into why this game was so bad, the Avengers game. The first was one, you're trying to create 5 different types of gameplay,
right?
Or 6 actually, because you're playing as all the different Avengers, and so what made Guardians of the Galaxy's combat loop so effective was that Star-Lord was the only character you play as, and you instead coordinate the other Guardians. It's single player only, and that helps. But
they took what worked with Ultimate Alliance, where everybody had different power sets, but you were in control of a primary character, and you did those primary things.
Well,
if they looked at this game and were like, oh yeah, like they looked at the problem you're talking about.
Well, part of the problem also is one on the editorial decision. This is also kind of part of Ike Perlmutter's Inhumans instead of X-Men strategy. You can tell that because the main plot revolves around the Inhumans. Even ignoring Miss Marvel, who again is the strongest part of the game in terms of character and plot progression. But sorry, I'm listening.
I understand on the surface of making her a big part of the game because
she was huge when the game was first announced.
Yeah. But it's also one of those things where she represents the fan, right?
Yeah.
So on a superficial level, it makes sense for a character like Kamala to be Kamala, right?
And back then, they didn't have the rights to Spider-Man yet in terms of games, and because it's still at Sony, so.
Yeah.
So in terms of a surrogate, Kamala is probably the closest thing they had at the time.
Yeah, I would argue that. I mean, they've got some other characters they could have done, but yeah. No,
you could argue Sam Alexander Nova maybe, but in terms of a well-known character that everybody at that point universally adored. People argue that I argue that Kamala's popularity took a dive after Civil War II. But everyone's did. But at the time the game was being produced, in pre-production, right. Kamala was huge. McNulty is saying that Square Enix being the producer of the Avengers game. So McNulty's kind of right. The devs were Crystal Dynamics, who are a subsidiary of Square Enix. He's not wrong that the recent Final Fantasy games aren't very good, but Crystal Dynamics were the people who made the rebooted Tomb Raider games.
Mm.
Yeah, and I heard good things about those though.
I mean, it depends on how big of a Tomb Raider fan you are, but
Well, I mean, if you're a Tomb Raider fan for the chesticles, I just made Adam facepalm. It's not wrong though. Like, how many people are like, "I love Tomb Raider"? And listen, I remember the Angelina Jolie, both Angelina Jolie movies.
they were not very good.
And they were not very good, but they did everything they could to make her look like Laura Croft. I'll tell you.
Short of giving her triangles on her tits.
Basically, I mean, the poor woman looked like she was getting back problems every time she was like running. I'm like, poor woman. Now,
But
back then I didn't like it was. I was a teenager, so.
But then another major problem I think with the game was its combat loop. Going back to my first point was that like you have to develop a fighting style for 5 different characters with very different move pools. Like with a game like Halo, I'm tying this in because Halo Infinite just came out and it's really, really good. Its core gameplay loop applies to every character in the arena. So you don't have Hulk doesn't have a different move set than Captain America, than Iron Man, than Thor, because you're all playing essentially the same character in Halo. You're playing a Spartan. So, but with Avengers, you have to balance the sandbox, you have to tune the sandbox for every single different character, plus the RPG elements that create more balancing issues. The problem that the game was just poorly implemented in most regards, even ignoring like the really bad rendered cutscenes and the weird costume designs that make Captain America look like a Brad Pitt dressed as a riot cop. It just wasn't. It was just a mess.
Oh, and the best part was when they decided to come out with Legends figures for that game, because they basically had the contract to. Nobody wanted those, like. Nobody. Most people use the cat body for like fodder,
mods.
For mods. That's basically what it was. Was literally just fodder. That's the only reason people bought it. Like they didn't buy it to go display. I remember seeing that the Hulk variant from the game, the Savage Hulk variant, where he had all the white designs on his chest.
I'm pulling up the Spider-Man stuff.
Yeah, and so that leads us to the. Okay, I was on Twitter. Was it yesterday? I think it was yesterday. And so you can follow me on Twitter at Spideydude Radio. Zach has bad audio. The hell? Is it too loud or is it?
It's too soft.
Too soft. Okay. Well, I've got it turned up. I just don't want to echo. That's why I'm got it low. So I've boosted me up. I'll be level late. If you're listening to the audio version, you have no idea what I'm talking about because I'm going to level it. But yeah. All right. Radiac, let me know if it's working right now. So this leads us to, I was on Twitter yesterday.
The Spider-Man DLC launched with like no applause whatsoever.
Oh man.
Yeah, so the Spider-Man DLC came out, listen, the Spider-Man Twitter, as me and Kelly have talked about on Make My Mayday, a show on this very channel. If you've not watched us on this channel, you need to. New episode next Thursday, by the way.
I'm pulling up the image, by the way, just so you have frame of reference.
Yes. Okay, so they got some new Spidey suits. Okay,
there's no black suit.
There is no black suit.
And there never will be ever again.
I think that's because of PS5 Spider-Man.
Maybe, yeah.
I honestly think Spider-Man PS5 is going to have the black suit.
No, but even though they have like this weird battle pass system for each character, which makes no sense for me because again, you're trying to introduce RPG elements into a beat 'em up, essentially.
Yeah.
They make a point about the Tomb Raider, but we'll get back to it in a second. The armor costume kind of looks like the spider armor.
This looks like he's wearing. This looks like he's wearing Captain America's leftovers.
It looks like a bad combination of the spider armor. Yeah, next Thursday, not tomorrow. Venkman.
Next Thursday. I guess this is his suit from when he became Poison. I think.
It's either that or it's like
Agent Anti-Venom.
Anti-Venom, or like a bad mix of Anti-Venom and like the Future Foundation suit.
Someone said it looks kind of like the bulletproof armor,
Which,
but recolored.
No, but that one's the stealth suit later on. We'll get to that one later. But here's Secret War.
Again,
I think.
I don't understand this. And PS4 Spidey did it too. That suit. They give more love to that suit. I've never understood the love for that suit. That suit is ass. That is
because it appeared in it appeared in the Temple Run clone, so that's why people remember it so fondly.
Yeah, I know, but like that suit was straight ass. Like, why are we making the color scheme is so dumb? Oh my god!
But here's some finishers, and if you don't know what finishers are, it's like if an enemy's health is low enough. You remember in it's not the same as like in Insomniac Spidey where you press triangle and X key. Are those the ones for the finisher, right?
Yeah.
It's not like that one, but like if an enemy's health is low enough, it's like how it works in Destiny, where if you press a certain button, you do like an epic little animation instead of actually doing something productive for gameplay purposes. You pay money for these, by the way. 600.
Oh,
I think these are like $6 a piece.
Dude.
Are you
just say it, swear it, swear now.
Swear to me.
Are you freaking like really? Really? Like,
okay, your sound effects coming really soft.
Is it really soft?
Yeah.
That's better.
Okay.
So more costumes.
God, you gotta pay for these. Oh God. God almighty, what the
So as far as I know, 10 or 100 of these little, I don't know what they're called. 10 of the 100 of these cost $1.
Oh God.
So you're paying $7 a piece for these. Costumes. Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Dude, you have no idea how predatory in-game monetization. Right. Okay, so to bring it back to
100% get it. I play NBA 2K. Okay,
that's your mistake.
Like I play NBA 2K. Like now, I wait until like there's a big sale on like on the game when they have like when it's like $20 and it gives me like 70,000 in the in-game currency. Like that's when I usually buy it. But otherwise, like, I don't buy 2K when it comes out. To me, that's dumb. No, it's dumb. Sports games, they go down in value every, 3 or 4 months. I still haven't bought... I've bought Madden every year, except for 2012, which ironically enough was the last good Madden. I have bought Madden every year since 1997. Through N64, PS2, PS3, PS4. I don't have a PS5, so I can't say through PS5. But through now 4 different game consoles generations, I've bought Madden. I will not buy Madden day one anymore.
So to bring this back to Halo, because I have a one-track mind, Halo Infinite is undergoing a similar problem where, like, in order to buy a certain set of armor, you have to pay like $10 to $20. Like there are people with MBAs who specialize in microtransactions, and unless the developers have hard data to say like people aren't going to buy this, and that's impossible. And that's impossible because like even though the vast majority of the community is seething about this right now, the entire Halo subreddit is mad about this right now. 343 can use like the 0.15% of like whales who spend hundreds of dollars to like rank up through the battle pass and these armor sets, and they will continue to use that as their hard data because they don't have any real conflicting data to say that it doesn't work. So anyways, here's shit. This one's okay.
Okay, so for our audio listeners, So they've got this like hyper designed blue and red suit. And
Some of these are just like recolors of the others.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like that one and the Tron looking one,
The
are
big time suit.
yeah, they're all the same 3 exact designs.
Wait, this one's the same too.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh my god.
They've got
Wait,
3
hang on.
that are just basically the same. Oh god, and then they basically took Noir's look, the Noir look. And okay, so they actually got a spider armor right.
Which one? Hang on.
Yeah.
This one right here.
Yeah, that one right there. That's the only one.
Gotta pay $7 for it, Zach.
Oh
Listen,
no.
it's not nearly as shiny on the silver parts as that's the one thing my one complaint about it from the PS4 game. I'm talking about the Web 100 spider armor. By the way, it's the Web 100 spider armor, not the spider armor from the 90s show. The 90s show got it from Web 100.
Shut up, John Semper.
No, it's not even John Semper that's saying this. This is like YouTubers saying, "Oh, this is from the like."
Lots of people remember it from
the
though.
Foosh. Oh, this is from the 90s show. No, it's not from the 90s show. They got it from the freaking comics. Okay. Alex Savick deserves respect for designing that suit.
Yeah.
So I do like this rendition of the Mark II armor. I will say that one actually looks pretty good.
That one looks like it came off. Those two look like they came off the page. The rest of them look like straight shit. I'm sorry.
This one looks like a football player. Like it's a reskin of the Ends of the Earth costume, which is a costume I actually kind of like.
I actually like how the Ends of the Earth one looks in this game more than I like how it looks in the comics.
That's unironically the best one actually out of most of these costumes.
Yeah, I like how it looks in this.
I've been on record hating on the Alex Ross redesigned armor. Okay, from Volume 4.
It looks worse here.
They somehow made it look freaking worse.
It's not that bad. The
Insomniac version actually looks pretty good aside from the weird like underglow.
Basically, the Insomniac improved almost every suit. The only suits from the Insomniac game,
not the Kane one.
Kane one's fine.
I don't dislike the Kane one. I know I'm in the minority. The fact that they, had the two-tone on the Scarlet part breaks up the suit a little for me, which I feel like is subtle enough to improve it. The Scarlet Spider one is awesome. No,
the Ben Riley one is great, but the Kane one isn't. The problem is like the weird like Jim Lee lines on it. This is unfortunate. This is unfortunately a problem with a lot of the redesigns that not only this game but a lot of AAA's do. Like they feel like this need to put on a bunch of kibble and extra bullshit in order to make it look hyper detailed and real and futuristic.
True.
But, I mean, guys, a lot of these suits are just straight. Like the hoodies. Like what the actual hell? Is
like the home. Here's the thing. I'm gonna play defense for it. I'm gonna play defense for a second. The homemade suit looks okay. Not necessarily all of them, but like the general silhouette looks like a good homemade costume. Okay. But you don't need to make like 50 of them.
Okay. Right.
Hello. One of my favorite characters is and I'm moving things around.
It's Ben Riley, a man who runs around in a hoodie.
Yeah, a man who ran around in a homemade costume. Okay, but that sounded like a lot worse than it was. But
I'm sorry. I believe these are in Spanish, so I apologize for that.
Like that's what it sounded like. But yeah.
We're using a lot of Ramita Jr. art for this. That's kind of cool.
Which is fine.
But they don't mean anything. They're just like backdrop tags for multiplayer.
Yeah. Are you freaking kidding me?
You have to pay money for that.
Like you can't buy like a bundle pack of this.
I think you can get. I think you can earn the currency in game. It's just been a while since I've played it, so.
But it probably takes forever.
Oh, it probably does.
Good God Almighty! The white Spidey suit looks like a redesign of his Future Foundation.
Yeah, as we were saying, Mike.
Yeah, my friend Michael is a huge, long-time Lara Croft fan, and he really enjoyed the first couple of rebooted games, and he hates reboots. Oh yeah, and Venkman thinks that these suits look like prison ass. Hi, Kevin. If you're watching, I know you watch after the fact. You don't watch live, but
This one looks this one looks awful. This looks like a. Is this supposed to be like Prodigy or
It
something?
does look like Prodigy. I was gonna say.
I do like the Agent Venom sleeper costume. That actually looks kind of cool.
Bastard child of Prodigy. What the actual hell?
I mean, the Prodigy suit is pretty cool. All the Slinger suits are pretty cool, but that is kind of weird.
Did we talk about the Goblin Queen last episode, by the way?
Queen Goblin
or Queen Goblin? I'm sorry.
The Queen.
I don't think we did.
So, yeah, we talked a little bit about that for the solicitations.
Do we want to talk about this? Oh, do we want to talk about solicits for next month? Or not next month, but February, by the way.
Yeah, go ahead and pull them up.
Because we've had enough strokes watching this, so
again, like these are straight awful, like awful.
It makes me kind of mad knowing that like people that like this is how they make their. Not only do they have the gall to make you pay $60 for a shit game to begin with, like. If I can understand like paying $60, I get paying $60 just because of how expensive game development is, especially with the hardware they're using now.
Yeah.
But like $60 and then they want you to pay microtransactions. Like at least Halo Infinite, for all of its flaws, is free to play.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Like Fortnite is free to play, and I hate its battle pass system.
Well, look, like as somebody that plays Madden, I don't play Madden for Ultimate Team. In fact, I think Ultimate Team was a scourge that was brought to Madden, and I think it's the absolute worst thing that EA ever did. But it's also, frankly, the way that they can continue to monetize.
I'm gonna go get my ham real quick. I'll be right back.
$60, $70 that you're paying to purchase a game. My biggest, it is one of the worst problems that we're seeing is microtransactions, and Matt Auger brings it up. Microtransactions have to be one of the worst things to happen in the gaming
Agree.
industry. And he's right. He's right.
Mm-hmm.
That is, it is that particular. It's one of those things where I'm like, the hell. Like, I'm sorry, I paid $70 for a game. That's why I think everybody loved Spider-Man PS4.
Yeah.
Because it was a complete game.
Yep.
That the DLC was like was it like a half a game?
Mm-hmm.
You told a complete story. The Miles Morales, which I've not played. I know I haven't played. I should buy it. Watching
here he comes.
Here. If you're an audio listener, and God bless you if you are, because I've been really bad about getting the audio versions of this show out. God bless you. But you're missing out on some of the whole. Seeing Neil run off camera is never not fun. It's true. Yeah. It's true. Like Neil doesn't have the self-awareness to go, oh, hey, I'll be back, guys.
No, I have the self-awareness. I just choose not to do it.
Yeah. So,
but anyways, I got a little snack.
Oh, dude, those are awesome. I love those P3s, man.
Yeah,
they're the absolute.
I miss the sunflower seed ones.
Like, they go to my appetite.
Dude, there's turkey in here. This shit rocks.
For those of you joining, by the way, was that too loud?
No, it's fine.
That was really loud in my earphones. So, okay, all right. So, yeah, I'm just.
That's a good one.
Yeah. So
that noise spooked me to biting my lip. I am so mad right now, Zach. Oh, God damn it!
There's a web in your mouth.
You webbed him. You thwipped him.
Hey, son, let mom and dad talk.
Here's another Spidey one.
With great power comes great responsibility.
You're not my father.
Yeah.
Stop pretending to be.
Okay. Yes.
There we go.
Perfect.
We may be doing that in the theater whenever. Speaking of, okay, this is our next news topic because I've got to bring this.
I pulled up solicits, by the way. Do you want to do that after No Way Home shit?
Yeah, let's do the No Way Home stuff because
Okay.
No Way Home might have been leaked by BarkBox.
Oh yeah,
Did you
that.
see this? So, let me pull up the No Way Home BarkBox for me, Neil.
Hang on. Where is it? You have a link?
I don't have the link on me. Just pull it up on Google. So I was perusing because right now, if you're on the internet and you're a Spider-Man fan, this is like the best and worst time to be on the internet.
Mm-hmm.
Why are you on the internet at all? You freaking moron.
So the Spidey BarkBox.
I don't even know what a BarkBox is. Please explain this to me.
Okay, so BarkBox is a monthly subscription service for those that have doggos, specifically those that have doggos that are really bad chewers. I've got one that we affectionately call her our little whore because she can never nut in her mouth.
That's affectionate though.
The person that just came on, the most recent person. If that's what you came on to, I'm so sorry. For dogs that are bad chewers, these are super tough plush toys that they're doing a add-on on the box that Marvel and Sony approved.
Where is it
in the
now?
background?
Is it this? No, it's not this one. Hang on.
It like the actual box. Now it may not be on the website.
Yeah.
So look up BarkBox.
Here we go. I found it.
There it is.
So on the actual box,
I can't zoom in far enough. Shit. Okay, hang on.
on the box.
Oh, here we go. Yeah, that's in the corner.
That's in the corner.
Well, both of the newspaper things are from the Raimi trilogy.
My guess is one of two things. Either it's just blatant asset reusal, which wouldn't surprise me considering it's
Could
Sony.
be.
It would not surprise me.
It could be, yeah.
Oh my god, this everybody's like confirmed
Right.
that McGuire is going to be there. I jokingly showed this to Sarah. Sarah is like so praying to God that this is happening because like Toby was like her Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, I need this in my life, and I'm like, so does half the like 3/4 of the internet. Not only, but yeah. So that was the funny story. The not so funny story is that movie theater websites like Fandango
Went down. Their servers crashed.
Their servers crashed.
Yep.
Due to the demand. The tickets went on sale at 12 a.m. Monday morning.
Yep.
Kelly, our friend Kelly, could not get tickets because every time she would, submit time for the tickets, the site would crash. The second most absurd thing besides that.
Oh, I need to find the fist fight article. Shit, hang on.
Oh God.
This okay. Now normally I have said that we would never do spider criminals on this show.
No, we peddle an actual news on this show.
Okay. God bless you, Douglas. But
oh wait, no, this is actual news. This is well, I guess it's kind of relevant because it had Fandango's biggest first 24 hours ever since Endgame.
Yeah, so it broke Endgame's record. Now, granted, before the pandemic, this was something that every Marvel movie was breaking the other Marvel movies' record, right? I think Black Panther was,
They had a dip though after Endgame because I mean, how do you top Endgame, like the highest grossing movie of all time?
Yep.
Well, I mean, thanks to the China release, it's Avatar again. But yeah,
go away. I'm not turning off my ad blocker for you.
Right,
so this is a good one.
CBR, that trusted news source. Sorry, Brian. I know we're friends on Facebook, but you're like the only one I actually like.
Anyways, nerd fight.
So apparently, people are getting into fights over the No Way Home in Mexico. Which I mean, it's Mexico, so like,
oh God,
there's literal knife that's happening in the streets.
Where do you think we live, Zach?
Listen, I know we live in North Mexico. I understand that. Okay.
Well, that's like saying, oh, London. That's what you could have just said. It was London, and nothing would have changed.
That's true. Yeah, people are. Yeah. Well, that's because they can't carry guns, so they carry knives. Knife control is being done in London right now.
But anyways, yeah, people in Mexico got into a physical fist fight over tickets, like
to a movie that does not come out this was recorded on December 1st.
Can I play the video or?
In 16 days is when this movie comes out. Go ahead and play the video.
God. Oh my God. It's not funny.
Okay, I'm having to respect listeners. This dude.
Oh shit, dude! Oh crap!
Okay,
oh
we're
my
reacting
God.
to a guy getting kicked in the face.
Like he's prone on the ground, and the guy just smashes his shoe into his.
That dude's a jackass.
That ain't cool.
I mean, it's a fight for a Spider-Man ticket. You don't fight fair.
Why are we fighting for Spider-Man tickets that are going to be like as if they're not going to have the entire movie theater, or like half, 3/4 of the movie theater? Because frankly, there's not a ton of movies out right now.
Yeah.
It's not like you've got all this competition. Everybody, there's like, I think the other game is that one with Bradley Cooper
Yeah, Nightmare Alley.
Okay. Let me see if I can find the scalper stuff because Mike pointed it out in the chat, but I want to find the article because I remember finding a screenshot of it. I think either Muhammad or.
Okay, so McNulty, I'm going to pull up your comment, and I'll say it to our audio listeners. Apparently, there are scalpers trying to sell a Spider-Man No Way Home tickets for $25,000.
Good luck.
I swear to God, if you're actually spending that type of money, I need a loan.
Yeah.
Let's see. Sorry, I'm still trying to find.
Because a fool and his money are soon parted, and you, my friend, are a fool for paying $25,000. Listen.
Okay, I thought McNulty was exaggerating, but I don't think he was. No, it's
on eBay.
No, I'm pulling up screenshots right now. I wasn't sure if he was just exaggerating, but like, holy crap, there's actually screen.
Theater of the absurd. Right
you got it caught in 4K, brother. Los Angeles premiere Spider-Man No Way Home. Okay, it's 10 tickets for 24,000, but you.
10?
Still,
okay. It's the premiere, right?
Yeah, it's the LA premiere. Yeah, okay, so that one makes a bit more sense.
If it's the actual,
I guess,
Los Angeles premiere that's going to have, I don't know, Tom Holland and Zendaya at it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, on their cute meet cute date that they'll be doing on the red carpet.
Also, leave them alone, guys. They're dating. Don't badger them. Just let them be happy in peace.
Listen. No one should be surprised at this point that Spider-Man and his love interest are dating.
Again.
Kirsten Dunst and Tobey Maguire did it.
Mm-hmm.
Andrew and Emma did it. Yeah.
Andrew and Emma were doing it before the movie came out and after. And now Zendaya and Tom. Leave them alone, for God's sake. Like
they're kids. Well, not kids, but like, they're 20s.
He's 25.
Well, no, they're 25 now.
Yeah, he's 25.
I mean, yeah.
Why does he still look like he's 10?
Good question. Britain? I don't know.
They made him Nathan Drake, and I'm like,
oh, British!
They made him Nathan Drake, and I was like, that's not Nathan Drake, bro. Like
Nathan Fillion did it even better.
Nathan Fillion was your guy. Like.
Then again, he's busy doing Rookie on CBS. So
ABC.
He
doesn't contract with ABC.
So what? They're two of the five monopolies that own our media. So
I mean, with Castle, when Castle ended, he had made a contract to produce things with ABC exclusively.
Yeah. But anyways, back to the point. Actually, I always consider Nathan Fillion like a potential Spider-Man voice. No one ever buys it, but I think he could be a good Spider-Man. Like old Spider-Man.
He did for Venture Brothers. He
was the Brown Widow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see that. As a voice actor, yes. If
Not as live action, unless he was doing like grizzled old man Spidey.
Yeah.
Then no.
like ASM 500 Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
But anyways, like,
anyway.
okay, to go off of your point, if you're spending $10,000 for a movie ticket, I'm sorry. Can I have your money so I can pay off my student loans?
Yeah.
Okay, so these are the current listings. Go to the sold. These
I these are screenshots. I can't go to the sold. Hang on, let me pull up eBay.
Go to eBay and you go to the sold tab because that's really. Let me give everybody like a piece of advice. If you're trying to sell, say, I don't know, a bunch of Build-A-Figure parts to Marvel Legends that you're never going to build. Like,
McNulty actually brings up a good point that the Uncharted movie does act like a prequel to the games.
And okay, that's fine.
Hang on.
Like, I don't know.
I think they've taken a bunch of those listings down. Oh wait, nope, I found them. Wait, where am I going for sold?
It should list items sold in there.
Best match, condition.
Like I have a Build-A-Figure that I'm never going to build. Like I have no desire to own, like.
Here we go. Sold items. So $50. They actually sold for $25,000.
Oh my god.
I didn't think they were actually gonna like. Alexa, turn off living room. No, don't, Alexa, stop.
By the way, you can play this show on your Alexa device thanks to our shows being on Audible and Amazon.
There you go.
All you got to say, "Hey Alexa, play Spideydude Experience."
This happened during D&D, and I had a panic attack. And then the Echo said, "Sorry, I'm having trouble connecting to the internet in the middle of our session."
Damn.
But Mike was there. He can verify that in 4K.
But like, again.
Okay, here's the tickets. 50, 25. What a fucking leap. From 50 to 25K.
Again, yeah, the sold listings, $5,000, guys. $5,000.
It's not worth it.
$10,000 for a ticket to a movie.
This isn't like going to like the Nutcracker. This isn't like the Nutcracker. This isn't like the Nutcracker for like is in town for one day.
Again, if you're going to the actual premiere, where the stars
actors will be, where the actors are going to be there and answering questions.
Marvel Studios is going to like, and Amy Pascal, which
why would you want to be there for her though?
Oh God, this woman, man. Listen, she is absolutely the biggest airhead.
Oh, do we want to talk about the Tom Holland trilogy announcement?
Okay, the announcement is not an announcement, but maybe an announcement because
because Tom Holland verified it.
That's basically.
Hang on, Paul's here.
It.
Hey, Paul.
Hang on, we got to say hello to our good friend.
You're muted, Paul. Oh wait, hang on.
Paul,
you're muted, Paul.
We can't hear you, buddy.
Paul, you're muted. Hang on. Did he hear us?
Can you?
Ah, crap. Hang on.
Yeah. So
I'm gonna keep typing the same message over and over again
that we have right now. Hang on. My cackling keys as you listen to us on the audio version. We are trying to get Paul on the line. Listen to me here. Okay. Okay, they choose to mute themselves.
It's on StreamYard, Paul.
Yeah.
You're muted on StreamYard.
All right. So while we're waiting on Paul,
Oh, Jesus Christ! I'm going to remove him from the stream.
So while we're waiting on Paul to be on, pull up the Amy Pascal story because this is so stupid.
Hang on. Well, it's not stupid because they've kind of verified it, didn't they?
No, they basically said there's no the other sources are like we don't know what the hell she's talking about.
Tom Holland verified it though.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
This today. Okay, so I'm finding this out when you are. So
yeah.
All right. No.
Tom Holland responds to Spider-Man trilogy. Oh.
Okay, hang
on. Okay, open link in new tab. Yeah, so this is the original.
Okay, Sony. This is a.
Okay, hang on. Paul's here.
I'm here.
There he is. There he is.
Oh hell.
Oh hi. Yeah.
Am I really loud?
Yeah, you're really loud.
Hey, I can barely hear Zach. I can hear Neil super well, but Zach is super low.
So can you hear me now?
It's a little better, yeah. Sorry.
Okay, so do you want me to take the lead on this one, Zach?
But
yeah, take the lead. Hello to Paul.
Hi, Paul.
Wait, how far along are we?
We haven't started the reviews yet.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited! Thank you guys. I love you. All right, I'm gonna eat some popcorn when you guys talk. Go ahead.
Okay. So, Amy Pascal, the woman who thought that the 2016 Ghostbusters reboot was a good idea, came out and said that the end of the Spider-Man trilogy won't be the end of Tom Holland's run as the web-slinging hero. This is not the last movie we're going to make with Marvel. This is not the last Spider-Man movie. Pascal said in a recent interview with Fandango, referring to the upcoming Spider-Man No Way Home. Now, before this...
It makes me wonder if the New Deal... It was reported to be just basically for this film. But I think...
There's a little moth in my office. Hello, moth. I killed it.
I think that was wrong.
No.
It was a
How could you?
A one-picture deal with with options.
And they expanded upon those options.
And because of the demand and the buzz around this film, there was no way, just even if it does terrible in its second weekend, which I don't think it will.
No, it won't.
Because it's being,
people are fighting on the aftermarket over these things like rabid animals.
Video of a guy getting his butt kicked and getting stomped in the face.
I didn't realize the video was that violent when I turned it on. I thought that was just going to be like them kind of wrestling in a dog pile.
Like, kind of horrific, truth be told. It escalated very quickly. So Amy Pascal, who is by the way,
she's not in a position of power right now.
She's no longer the Sony boss. She's only a producer because she got producer credit with the first two films and has it in her contract to be producer for all the Sony Spider-Man stuff, even though she's no longer at Sony.
Gatekeep, gaslight, girl boss, the woman.
So, she was the head of Sony when they greenlit this. She then made sure that she took care of herself so that way she gets her cut as a producer. But she is no longer the head of Sony and hasn't been the head of Sony Pictures for a while, like 2 years. So get your facts right. Come on.
But what's kind of shocked all of us, or shocked Zach, was this article about Tom Holland. He didn't know about this until just now.
All right, so the money quote is, listen, all I'll say is...
No, you have to say it in the British voice. Listen, all I'll say is that we have some very, very exciting things to be talking about.
Good God.
Oi, bruv.
What those things are or what they will transpire to be, but it looks like an incredibly bright future ahead. And as I've said before, Spider-Man will forever live in me.
No, see, that's funny because I remember a week ago he was saying he doesn't want to be Spider-Man when he's 30.
He's not 30 yet.
Yes, but
he's 25. So,
but
he's got a few years.
But the implication was that he doesn't want to be Spider-Man for like the next 5 years.
Okay, but they probably backed up. His agent probably called him and said, "Listen, the Brinks truck you're about to get Downey level money." Okay?
Listen, Buckaroo. You want to pay for your next house?
You want to pay for your grandchildren's college next week? Shut up, Tom.
No, I made this joke in the. I made a joke in
I
the.
don't care.
I made this joke in the Crawl Space Discord that
Okay.
Adam Driver does Star Wars for his mansion, but he does stuff like Marriage Story for his coffee. Now that's not a joke that I made; it's a joke that Reddit Media made, but it's true.
But it's true for every big budget movie, though. I mean, it's not exclusive to Spider-Man or Star Wars.
No, I know, but I'm just saying that like money talks, and Tom Holland.
Of course, yeah.
And look at how fast Tom Holland changed direction when his agent said, "Hey, Tom, look, I can pay for your next house in 2 seconds."
Again, it was like one of those situations where now Sony is like, okay, we can literally fund our entire studio with this film, with these films, because right now it's a Brinks truck level of money. And look, the leaks obviously are what they are. And again, if not every leak ends up being true, don't be mad. Don't make your level of expectation on a film or a game or whatever it is, a phone, a watch. I'm looking at you, Apple Watch Series 7. Don't put that as a leak. Don't make that your expectation. Because as we saw with the Apple Watch, every leaker was like, oh, it's a redesign.
I have no idea what any of this is, but I'll take your word for it.
So Apple has not done a radical redesign of the Apple Watch since really its inception. It's had rounded edges. They've redesigned internals. They've redesigned the screen. All the leaks, all the reports leading up to the debut of the Series 7 basically were saying that this was a radical redesign. If you look at Apple's design language, I'll use my iPhone as an example. I'll briefly take it out of the case.
You're gonna drop it.
I'm not going to drop it.
He drops it.
So the design language is really simple. It's very flat.
Yeah.
It's a flat design language.
Are we an Apple show now or something?
Yeah.
What is going on here?
I'm very confused right now.
I'm illustrating a point, Paul. Let me finish.
No.
My point is that the Apple Watch, the one that was supposed to come out this year, was supposed to have that similar design language: flat edges, square body design, a redesign of the battery and the sensors and everything like that. So everybody was really super stoked. And then Apple basically was like, haha, psych. It's essentially the exact same watch as Series 6. Except it's a little bit bigger screen. That's the only difference. Literally, the internals are the exact same. So
The Eternals?
Yeah, the Eternals. What about the Eternals?
I still have not seen Eternals.
Shame on you, bro.
I know. I just haven't. I've been busy, okay? And life has hit me very hard in the face.
I know, man.
So
My heart goes out to you.
You want a kiss and a hug?
no, it's okay. But
I'm offering.
I'll take the hug. The kiss is a little weird.
Hey, the Bible says greet your friend with a kiss, man.
The moth is back.
Yeah, well, that's what Judas did, and it didn't end up well for him.
Oh.
I'm just saying. It says greet your friend, your brother with a kiss.
I know.
Hang on. Shit, the moth is back. I thought I killed him.
Don't kill him.
You did not kill the moth. So my point is, like, don't put your
I was
level.
born in it.
Don't put your level of expectation on Spider-Man: No Way Home.
Also,
Yeah.
don't conflate Toby and Andrew being there with a good movie.
If they show up, it's going to be a glorified cameo, guys. It's not like they're going to be in 90% of the movie. The majority of this movie is going to be
Well, the trailers are.
what's in the trailers, which is Tom Holland reacting to the multiverse of Spider-Man.
Guys, the multiverse is real. Whoa!
Hey, Zach, do me a favor. Get your volume up again, man. It's still pretty low.
Okay. All right.
Let's get it up there. Get those decibels up.
Got to pump those numbers
You're
up.
going lower. You're going lower, Zach.
That's weird. That's
It's just
super
you
weird.
sound good. It's just a low register. You gotta get those decibels up.
Okay, so let me.
Those dBs.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, music guy knows. Adam knows.
Yeah,
Okay, so real quick, I know we haven't pivoted to the reviews yet, but do we want to cover the death of Doctor Strange yet, or the death of Doctor Strange tie-in?
I mean, if you guys want.
Yes,
Yes.
we do.
So, while you guys are doing that, let me.
Well, what have you guys what have you guys talked about? Because do you guys talk about the what's it called, the new costumes for the Avengers game?
Yes,
Yeah.
we spent I think like a half an hour at least going back and forth about it.
Can I just give my 2 cents really fast?
Sure.
Is it shit?
Well, I mean, yes, but I mean, but hear me out. I find them ironically cool.
Yeah. Some
Well,
of
your
them do
opinion
look
is
kind
wrong.
of good.
Yeah, well, and this is what I kind of think of. It feels like literally people designing superhero costumes who have no idea or have ever watched or read a comic book besides watch the Marvel films.
I think you nailed
Hang
it,
on,
actually,
hey,
Paul.
Paul, real quick. Can you turn on your gain? Can you turn on the gain on your mic?
Yeah, that was my fault, man. Sorry, I'm trying to hear people better. That's why I have it up, kind of. So
My fault. That's what you're trying to say.
no. Well, yes, but no. It's just you're still low. I'm just trying to hear you.
I really don't know what's going on. I have no idea.
Do I need to come down to where you live and fix your mic for you?
StreamYard, what the hell is going on?
Yeah, StreamYard.
We want a free
Am I the only person with good
multi-
audio quality?
thing.
I have good audio quality. It's just very loud right now, and I have to turn it down.
I'm closing all these windows on fire.
1, 2, 3.
Oh,
That's
that
good.
right. That was better. That was much
Very
better right
good.
there.
Okay,
So
part of the
I
problem.
increased my level on the board. I think it was the soundboard.
You have to eat the microphone though to get really good concise sound. So just know the further away you are,
Yeah.
Ah,
I'll just do this. This is fine. It may be my microphone dying on me too, which would be just the topper to my life.
oh, I'm sorry, man. Anyway, yeah, that's so my costumes thing is. I think it's literally just people who've never read a comic book before and then just decided to draw superhero costumes.
here's a question, Paul. Was the
Yes,
ends
sir.
of the was the ends of the Earth costume, like the actual ends of the Earth costume, like the reskins? That I thought that one was pretty good. What about you?
Are you talking about the Dan Slott run?
Yeah, the ends of the Earth armor from ASM 683.
It's fine. I don't love it. I don't hate it. I'm
682. I'm sorry,
yeah. It's like really clunky. It feels very
but here's the thing: it feels at home in the Avengers game, if that makes sense.
No, I could see that. I thought the spider armor has always been very hit and miss with me. I love the Civil War armor personally. We have to have our costume episode sometime too,
Yeah.
because I think that's like to me.
We need to make a tier maker list.
Yeah.
We just rate all the costumes.
Hang on, I'm gonna see if there is one.
A tier?
A tier maker, yeah.
Oh,
Holy
sure.
shit, there is one.
Well, anyway, but yeah. So that's kind of my 1 second. My dog's about to get in here. 1 moment. Sorry.
Ooh, show dog. Oh,
Oh, I've got both mine in here, so I understand.
let's see. Okay. They included like the Spider Ham costumes, like Spider Ham 2099 and Scarlet Spider Ham.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, what? Hang on. Whoa.
On-
I was on Comixology. What the hell? What?
What the hell?
I found a tier maker for Spider-Man costumes.
Oh my God, Zach! I can actually hear you. Oh, yay!
Yeah, see this one of these.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we'll have to do that on an episode when we don't have any other news and shit.
Yeah.
Let's see. Where's Secret War? I want to put it on bad.
Yeah. We determined that I hate the Secret War costume. I think it's actual prison ass.
Okay, they put the Slinger costumes on here, but not the Secret War costume. What the hell?
I
He
think
put the Slinger costume on first.
I think
That was Identity Crisis.
I think that the Secret war thing.
There's Webman. Webman's top tier, boys.
Yeah,
Let's
he
go.
Yeah, he has an action figure.
Let's do this later.
Yeah, let's.
Oh, do we want to do solicits, by the way, before we?
Yes. Well, we can do the solicits at the end of the episode. Let's get the reviews. We're over an hour in, and we need to do the reviews.
No, we don't.
All right, so we're gonna start with ASM 7. Do we want to talk about?
We talked about the dot. Oh shit, Zach's just I think he froze. Never ending story. Mike pointed out that you don't need spoilers to figure out that if Toby and Andrew are in No Way Home, they'll show up in the last. Nah, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, they'll be in the movie for a good like 10-15 minutes, I bet. I think
just enough time for like some like fleshed out details on what actually happened. I don't know.
Because I mean, if the leak with the leak where it shows Garfield talking with everyone on the bars, whatever.
Yeah.
If that which all seems legit. So if that's it, you've got to think that if he's interacting that much with them, he's got to be in the movie for at least a good 15-20 minutes at the end or something like that. They're going to have, again, it's going to be like, I would say a couple, maybe one quiet scene, action scene, and done. Mm-hmm. Like they'll leave right after they defeat all the villains.
Oh yeah, Paul, real quick. Do you read Jason Aaron's Avengers? Because it's kind of shit.
Okay, so I started off with it. I liked it at first. I binged like a bunch later on. It's not bad.
It's a bunch of ideas that he's kind of throwing at the wall and seeing what sticks.
Yeah,
they finally made She-Hulk normal again, so that's okay.
I didn't mind the Savage She-Hulk.
My problem with it is that Jason Aaron did it because he didn't get to write the Hulk, like regular Hulk, and then then he tried to rewrite history and say that he always meant for it to be this way, and that's probably what makes it like more egregious to me is that he tried to like go back on it and say like, oh, I meant to do She-Hulk all along, guys.
There's really cool things in it. I love the Avengers being in the Celestial. I mean, that's cool. There's great stories in there, but I didn't like Blade being Avenger. That's bullcrap.
The Superhuman Cold War was like the only interesting thing to me.
That was cool. I haven't read the whole thing of that,
but the problem is that they kind of blew their load and didn't really know what to do afterwards. They didn't even follow up on that plot line. They kind of just like tossed it to the side and nothing really happened.
I also like the team. The teammates were all really good.
They just took away like half the teammates in the newest issue.
Oh, Mary, don't worry. We're going to talk about that.
Yeah, I honestly think that like going off of the death of Doctor Strange, Spider-Man.
Let me jump off. I may have to.
Okay, you want me to take over?
This ticks me off.
Okay, so I guess that means take over.
You guys hear me?
I can hear you.
Good Lord.
Hang on.
Okay, so unstable connection thanks to freaking Comcast. All right, Neil, take over while I go try to fix this. I'll be right back.
All right, time to talk about Transformers, guys. Woo! Okay. Okay, so
why don't we review 880 and then by the time Zach gets in, we can get his review.
Yeah. Okay. So hang on. I'm going to get my source material. Okay. Sorry, I didn't think I'd be taking over. I thought Zach was going to be spearheading us tonight.
Well,
so.
Why don't we just review it right now?
That's what I'm doing. You got to give me a sec so I can.
Or am I? Or
I'm gonna. Okay.
All right.
Amazing Spider-Man 880, written by Rick and Morty man Cody Ziegler.
Oh, that's where he's from. Okay.
Yeah, he's also running She-Hulk, I think.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, and Mike said She-Hulk goes back to her classic self just in time for her Disney Plus series. Synergy.
Imagine that.
But art is by Michael Dowling, who you guys might recognize from his run on Black Cat. He did the issues where Black Cat and Black Fox sold New York to a gold man, and colors by Jesus Abertov. So the issue starts with a bunch of Beyond Corporation members out getting drinks, talking about pharmaceuticals and corporate stuff. And one of their members walks into an alley, drunkenly singing. I actually thought it was Imogen Heap for a second there, but it turns out I was wrong. But he screams, "Oh my God!" just in time for Ben to transition to having a stroke in mid-panel. While the Beyond Corporation is testing out his suit. He and Marcus, it's Marcus, right? The other guy who looks like Dr. Steve.
Yeah.
So he and Marcus have a discussion about whose interests Ben's priority is: the Beyond Corporation's board or the people of New York, or his own. And Ben goes on a web swing, and he goes to is it McCarthy? Names aren't important. He goes to the hospital where Peter's at and runs into MJ, and they have a bit of back and forth. It's much cleaner and not as volatile as the last time that he was there. But MJ goes to go get him a cocoa bar, and he and Peter have a talk, and Ben kind of lets out about how he's not really having a good time right now. He wants them to be Spider-Men together, and he does into a bit of the existential stuff that he's undergoing, like what does it mean to be Spider-Man, and whether or not he made a good choice being backed by Beyond Corporation, as a movie that I think was probably traced from a screenshot is playing in the background.
Yeah.
So anyways, the plot convenience news plays on, and Ben suits up and makes a joke about him being from the Make-A-Wish Foundation. Ouch. And swings off to hear Marcus yelling in his ear about turning off his comm and tracking signals that he turned off on his own. Ben stops an armored car, using some classic Spider-Man moves, and even saves a little girl from getting hit by the truck. And Marcus actually gives him a bit more praise, not like a not backhanded praise. He's actually genuinely happy with him. But he calls saying that Andrew Ayers, who's one of the Beyond Board executives, pinged a break-in at his penthouse and sends Ben on his way to investigate. Ben arrives at the penthouse and arrives to find Andrew dead on the floor. So I guess it was a break-in. But anyways, an explosion knocks Ben off his feet, and guess what? Dun dun dun! It's Kraven the Hunter, or should I say Kraven 87 the Hunter. Kraven starts trying to slash at Ben with a sword.
Damn right.
You're a little behind on that one. But Ben starts Ben starts going on the defensive as Kraven uses a bunch of tools like swords and spears to try and get Ben off his feet. And then Ben runs out the window and finds out that he's been coated entirely in toxic darts. His suit's failing to counteract the chemicals, but Ben starts tripping out. I want some of that stuff. Holy crap. But he starts having a bad trip as Kraven arrives with wings, with grenade launchers and spears for wings, and a flaming lion's head saying, "Your great awakening has begun. To be continued."
I gotta tell. I hear myself. Someone's got their computer audio on.
No.
That's weird.
Are you maybe hearing yourself?
I'm pretty sure no, but
all right. Let's go around the horn and give grades. Let's start with you, Paul.
I'm gonna give it a solid old A, man.
Okay. What were your? Adam, what's your grade?
B+.
Hang on, I'm messaging Zach.
Is he still?
Yeah, Zach's still having.
Oh no.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Good.
Okay, Zach, what's your grade?
Horizon. Okay, so we got Paul had an A.
Yep.
Adam had a B plus.
Mm-hmm.
B plus from Adam. Neil, what's your grade?
I'm giving it an A.
Neil gave it an A. I'm gonna give it an A minus.
So, who would have thought? Show of hands here. Who would have thought that the Rick and Morty writer would have been the best out of the entire Beyond board so far? I sure as hell didn't.
Thus far, I can say I did not expect this. I did not expect this at all.
Ziegler was the one person I was actually really worried about.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Kelly Thompson's. I'm sorry, the Morbius story was
Not good.
it was kind of just there. Wasn't exceptional in any way. So,
Here's the thing. I'm hoping Zeb Wells gets a story arc that isn't like setting up the status quo, because unfortunately the first 2 issues that he wrote were entirely dedicated to setting up the status quo. So I'm hoping he gets a story that takes place more on media res.
To be quite honest, and we'll get into it more as we obviously keep reading the books, but I gotta tell you, I've not enjoyed this Beyond run as much as I didn't think I would disenjoy it by any means, but I'm enjoying it way more than I thought I would. And I think it has to do with these latest issues. And his name Ziegler, is that the name?
Yeah, Cody
okay.
Ziegler.
Is it Cody Ziegler?
Ziegler.
Yeah.
Ziegler. Okay. And I don't watch Rick and Morty. I don't. I watched it a little bit. Not my. I mean, it's fine. I thought it's funny at times, but it's not really my thing. And when I heard that this person was going to be the showrunner of She-Hulk, and then they got him to do the Spider-Man, I didn't know what to think. And I was like, okay, cool, whatever. I'm down with whatever. And what ended up happening, I think I messaged you guys, and I think I said it on Twitter too, is that this was it was really, really good. It was a really great paced comic book that I was like, wow. And I said, I think in our group chat, Zach, I said, I don't think Ben Reilly's been written this well since the 90s. Like, I don't think that he's been, again, through Clone Conspiracy, through the Peter David stuff, I don't think he's been written as well. And he really had a great voice in this issue. Like the instance, one thing I was even thinking about is when they're talking about the suit and all these things, and he tells him, he basically says, "Well, I'm a genius myself," and we never really see Ben. We haven't really seen Ben do that very much. In the '90s, we did, right, Zach? In the '90s, we got the stingers, the impact webbing. He was very much a Peter Parker 2.0, right? So, go ahead. Sorry.
Well, he had his Parker luck moments.
Well, right.
Like when he first became Spider-Man, he was basically making his web fluid out of toothpaste. But, I mean, that's a literal joke from Spectacular 231, I think. Don't quote me on the number. But, like, he literally was, adding to the arsenal. Impact webs.
Excuse me.
It was a subtle amount of genius. It wasn't like beating you over the head saying, I'm a genius.
Right.
But hearing that from him here, we had not seen that. Unfortunately, since Clone Conspiracy.
Right. So with all that being said, what we got was when they went back, eventually when they had the whole suit and they set up the whole thing, he says that we don't really know or see it yet, like you said, and then it comes into play right away. So Ziegler already knows how to set things up and make you go, oh, wait a minute. Oh yeah, duh. He's Peter Parker's clone. He's going to be a smart dude, right? I mean, he's Clone Conspiracy. He made clones, whatever, right? But at the same time, you're seeing more of his own agency again, like we saw in the 90s, and that was nice. So it was a good reminder of that. Peter, again, it seemed like Ziegler really knows how to write and how to really function this Ben Reilly. And I feel that this Ben and the new Ben Reilly we're getting is starting to kind of settle in between the crazy whatever Dan Slott did with them and the Clone Conspiracy and Peter David to a little more of the classic, Peter 2.0 and kind of split the difference. And that's what we got, I think, out of these last two issues specifically. Mm-hmm. And that's been really nice because you can't just make, again, I've said it before, you can't make Ben just Peter 2.0. There's no point to do that, right? It's just kind of, here, my twin brother, we're both stand-up dudes, and which again is fine, but it's just not very interesting. And now this whole Beyond arc has been giving Ben his own agency, but that whole idea of he's Peter, but he's not Peter,
and that's back.
And this is why it's going between the two different things of Peter. Ben he's torn. That's what story arc is right now. Is basically this story arc is him being torn between being Peter and who is he? Is he Peter Parker clone or is he crazy Ben? And it feels like he doesn't know which way to go. And that's what makes being Spider-Man. The whole idea of being Spider-Man in here is so interesting. Is that he's trying to find his agency. And it's like he just hasn't found it yet. And that's what I feel like we're going to get out of this besides just, fun storytelling and the whole thing with Peter and trying to figure that whole thing out is really much as about Ben finding his own agency as a Spider-Man and as a person. And I think that's what's really awesome. I think that I keep forgetting his girlfriend's name, but Janine. That's why I think Janine, her inclusion is so important in this. So we'll talk more about later issues, but yeah, I think this was a great issue, and I really, really want Ziegler back on the book more, which he's probably not going to be able to because he's obviously a bigwig now.
Well, but he's got more issues lined up.
Well, great, because he should, because the dude knows how to write. Dude's a baller. So yeah, give him more. As far as I'm concerned, I love it.
I will say that it's a surprise knowing that Jed MacKay and Cody Ziegler, who are like the people, one isn't supposed to even be on the Beyond board, and one was like the underdog. They're the best two things to come out of this entire thing so far. And to be quite honest, I don't really feel like Beyond has really done a whole lot with its premise yet. And I say that as someone who really likes Next Wave and really likes the Beyond Corporation. It kind of feels like they're digging more into the corporate element rather than like the absurdity that Beyond Corporation really is. But this issue was a really good kind of classic Spider-Man issue. Well, not classic Spider-Man, but like, Kraven finally in a story. We finally had a Kraven story that wasn't just Last Hunt adjacent. We finally got a Kraven issue where Kraven gets to like be in his element. He's just hunting Spider-Man for the sake of the sport rather than like, oh, I am the Spider. And don't get me wrong, I love Last Hunt adjacent stuff, but like when 3 of the 5 that we've had aren't really good Kraven stories, it's good to get a Kraven story that's like kind of back to basics for Kraven while also. What the fuck was that?
That was me rubbing my eye.
That was Alexa going off.
Oh.
But it was fun having Kraven back to basics while playing with the new status quo. I liked the bit where Ben kind of lets out to Peter like his feelings. It's something I don't think he's even told Janine, which I think speaks to the bond that they have slash what the writers want them to have, but I don't feel is really particularly earned. I will say I don't know if Paul's reading into it a bit too much. And I could be wrong, but like I don't think it's all about Ben finding his agency. It's gonna be one of those things where like it's gonna be like an anime where like at the end of the second act, the main character finds like the power inside of himself all along.
Well, I mean, the thing about this Neil, this is the problem with this is why I think they are doing his own agency and his own individuality, because if you think about it, Clone Conspiracy and the Peter David run is like they try to give him like this whole weird like play off. It felt like Peter David was playing off of the slot stuff and trying to justify that. And what this feels like is again kind of like the recommitted to like we're gonna try to make Ben Reilly figure him out. And I think it's obvious they're doing something with his agency and his individuality because. Look at the way they're writing him. The whole arc is him like I'm trying to be Spider-Man, especially the Jed MacKay issue we talk about in a little bit. The whole point is he's trying to justify himself to Peter's loved ones and to everybody else, and that he's worthy of being Spider-Man, and that's a big deal to him. And I think that to me shows that he's trying to find his own like special way of everything. And he even said, I could be Scarlet Spider, but to be Spider-Man is to be, to give him fulfillment. So right now, Ben's trying to find his life and his role right now. And I think that's obvious, and he's using the Beyond Corporation for that. I mean, again, reading it too much, I don't know, but I think there, man.
I think the theme is there, but I just don't think that they've done a whole lot to like explore that theme. Like it's one of the more interesting things I think that's come out of this arc, but at the same time, it's not exactly one unique, even within Spider-Man's own history.
I don't think it has to be unique though. That's what I like. See, that's the thing for me, and this is my opinion. But go ahead, sorry.
Let me elaborate on that a little bit. I think the problem is that like they've touted this Beyond storyline as like the cutting edge of Spider-Man stories. Things we've never seen before.
Mm-hmm.
But so far, all we've had is the most unique thing we've had is the most unique thing we've had is the UFOs. I'm gonna be honest.
Well, see, I'm gonna let me. Okay,
it also doesn't help that I've read Next Wave, so I've seen so like the Misty Knight stuff, like the really unique weird stuff I've seen before. So
but that's not what interests me. Like the Jed McKay Misty Knight issue was fine. It's solid. It's like not bad, but that's not why the Beyond Corporation itself is not why I like what's going on right now. It's because what's going on with Ben as a character and the characters around Ben and about Peter is completely gone, and he's off the table. And what that's doing to everybody else in the world, and Ben being the central part of that, and now how he's trying to take this mantle of Spider-Man. And how it's going on to another level with Miles in the next series and everything. So there's lots of interesting things here. I love what they're doing. To be honest, or at least with Ben specifically. Has it been all great? No, it has been all great. But this is one thing I'll say about this. I think with Ziegler's issues in particular is I think that he's given us this idea of, okay, he takes on Kraven and Kraven's testing him. And I love, and again, I'll save most of this for the second issue because it kind of deals more with what's going on there. But I love how he takes on Kraven, and I gotta say the art in this is probably some of the best Spider-Man art since Otley. Like this was like in Gleason, and I know Gleason's like phenomenal, but this I forgot the name. I'm really terrible with names.
It's Michael Dowling. I call him not David Marquez.
Dude, Dowling needs to be on Spider-Man on the reg because his stuff was so good. Sorry, Adam, I don't mean to talk, but I want to say the art has been fantastic. Fantastic.
I was just like, oh yeah, I forgot David Marquez's name earlier today. I was like, who was that guy that did stuff with Bendis? That Neil loves.
Only with Bendis. God damn, I'm tired of him doing Bendis work. Sorry.
Yeah, Paul brings up a lot of interesting stuff because I think the most interesting thing about these two issues is that Ben's character, and like all you guys have said, even last week when you were sort of talking about it in our group chat, Ben is written way better here, I think, than the past.
It helps that they turn down. It helps that turn down like they turn down two big character traits that have been like a problem for the arc. One, his smarminess, where he comes off as like a corporate douchebag, and the other is like his weird
ineptitude,
his eclectic charm. Like he's kind of just overly goofballish.
Right. Yeah, that's the thing.
At least in the Thompson arc,
because it feels like, and I've seen some people say this, like this is the guy who fought Venom when he first became Scarlet Spider, and he's having a hard time with Morbius. It's like what's going on there?
And decisively beat Venom, I might add.
Yeah.
It feels like they're artificially having Ben, and I actually don't mind Kraven overpowering Ben because he uses like some really smart tactics to do it.
Right.
But like
Ben's faced Kraven since he was Spider-Man in his memories. Physically speaking,
you're right. Yeah.
But here at least I can accept Kraven using his smarts and tools in order to outpace Ben. I can even accept it if it was Peter.
Wait,
but Ben has, I think, almost aside from like the UFO stuff, has lost every fight he's been in.
Yeah. It's odd, but and this too, like he in this issue, it's a lot. Ben's a lot snappier at everyone. He's kind of like, you know, he's talking back to people.
I need these things.
Like the facade is kind of like breaking. Like he's.
That's what's interesting and that's what's interesting to me.
Not being a team player anymore, almost like he's starting to learn that, like, and he turns off the AI. He figures out how to turn off the AI.
Yeah, like I like those parts where Ben is starting to. Well, one, I don't think he ever should have jumped in with the Beyond Corporation to begin with.
Yeah.
With like but the parts where he's like actively going against the Beyond Corporation and striking on his own, those are the most interesting parts of the book because it puts him in direct opposition to the Beyond Corporation.
But didn't he also in his counseling session have trouble remembering things too?
Yeah.
Like I feel so.
The implication is that Beyond Corporation's messing with him.
Well, see, maybe I'm getting the implication that maybe something's wrong with Ben and that it's not maybe. I think that's what I think more of it. Like you guys just made a good point that maybe he's lost a couple fights. Maybe it's because there is a deterioration with him because he's a clone. I don't know.
Oh, if we're going back to that, oh my god.
Well, Zach, what were you saying?
So I have a theory on that. I'll get into that more whenever we get to my thoughts on the issue. But I'll say
you want to go ahead?
Yeah, go ahead, man. Yeah, go.
Yeah.
Adam.
No, I'm good. I think
all right, so
I'm good.
I'll say this. Both of these issues are the best two issues of Beyond so far. Full stop. Two best issues. Like I said earlier, and before somebody in the comments starts correcting me, I'm the Ben Riley expert. I know that Ben faced off against Vladimir during Web of Death, and then was.
He's a Grim Hunter. Thank you.
Okay. Oh, real quick, we haven't gone over 881. We've only gone over 880.
I know. So my point is that yes, he's not faced Kraven the Hunter since he was technically the first, since before ASM 149. So I want everybody to understand that. So this is really, even though he's got the memories, his first time truly facing Kraven. Vladimir does not count. He was a jobber. He got
memories don't count because that's not learned.
Jobber.
I mean, truthfully, he was.
No, you're not wrong. I'm not arguing that.
It's using the wrestling parlance. He was the Brooklyn Brawler of the clones.
Oh, Brooklyn Brawler.
So, the Boston Stabber.
Paul knows exactly what I'm talking about. Hi, Gerard. So
I loved wrestling when I was a kid.
The point is that in this issue, the artwork was phenomenal, like you guys mentioned. This is some of the best artwork. It was certainly better than the Pacelli's artwork. Sorry,
Pacelli. I like Pacelli. Pacelli's good.
Pacelli.
No, hang on, Pacelli. Paul. I like Pacelli, but her art in that last arc was really, really rough.
I didn't think it was that bad.
I'm with Adam on that.
She needs a strong inker. She should not be inking herself.
And also a better colorist.
That I would agree with because I just read Spider-Man, the first issue, again for a while, which I'll have a cool little announcement next week about that.
The 2015 run.
Yeah, and obviously her Miles stuff is great, but I mean that Spider-Man issue, like the colors are so vibrant and the inker too, like what Zach said. I think both those things are just great combos because they're a strong inker and the colors are very vibrant. They're not like they're not muted. They're very just out there and bright, and it really pops, man. She's a phenomenal artist. But her art looked weird in Fantastic Four, I thought, with Slott too. So I mean,
and that's what I'm saying is that
right.
Like, I unironically think when Justin Ponser died, the world became a less colorful place. That sounds
literally
corny, schlocky, but like
it's true.
Colorist for a long time. So
her line art was awful in Abrams, man. I'm gonna be honest.
She was. Look, there was a lot of problems with Abrams, man, but
she was the least problematic of them.
The artwork couldn't save it, is my point. So, all that being said, I thought the characterization of Ben was probably the most on point in this issue. And I think one of the reasons that I like this issue so much is that Ben goes to visit Peter. Not because he feels like he has to, but because
he wants to. Yeah.
And
it kind of felt like it was a more obligatory the last time, but I thought it was an improvement over the first time he visited Peter since everything happened. I like that Ben is starting to be rebellious towards his corporate overlords. And it really shows up, I think, in this issue. I think that now we're starting to see. Now we're getting the meat and potatoes of the Beyond story. We're a third of the way in, and yeah,
It's a good explosion. That's an imminent tier explosion.
Yeah, I mean the artwork is really, really good in here. Look, Kraven. I like Kraven the Hunter as a threat. This is the most threatening Kraven has been outside of Hunted. This is, in terms of a regular Kraven story that's not trying to fix or resurrect him, this may be top 5.
No, I unironically think that Spencer undoing Grim Hunt and making his clone son the new Hunter was unironically one of the best editorially based decisions they could have made.
Here's the genius thing. I think maybe you made a comment, or I'm not sure which one I read this at. They made a comment about Kraven 2, whatever it was, and I think he made it. There was maybe I read this as well, but they alluded to the fact that like if he dies, it's almost like Star Wars Dark Empire and the Emperor was like if he dies, his consciousness, it won't be his consciousness, but like a clone just kind of replaces him, like when he dies. That's the kind of impression that I got. And I kind of like that. I kind of like the idea that Kraven is so. If something happens to this one, it doesn't matter. Another one's going to come right up.
It makes him a force of nature.
Exactly.
Well, no, I'll kind of get into it when we talk about the next.
You're not going to leave him dead. He has to be a force of nature.
Right.
Well,
Well, now, and that's the thing with this now, like the original Kraven died, right? Like that, we have that settled now from Kraven's Last Hunt, and that's been settled with the Spencer arc. What's awesome about this now is that if he can pretty much die all the time. It doesn't matter. So it went from if you resurrect Kraven, you're doing a dirty deed a little bit by what you did but now it's been corrected. He can keep dying and whatever. It doesn't matter because can have a clone. So he can just keep coming back and it's the same person. So I think that's kind of genius now, honestly. So you can kind of take him in and out of and have him gone for a while and not have to worry about it. So I think it's pretty brilliant, to be honest.
Absolutely. So Neil, what were you saying?
One of the weird things about Hunted was the cloning component, like not necessarily the Kraven clones, but like the argument between like the consciousness established and like the new conscience and the one that passes on. That's kind of a mess that clone conspiracy started and Spencer had to pick up on. But I always kind of assumed that like at the base of Kraven, there's like a basic Kraven personality, sort of like how personality works.
Exactly, I agree.
And one of the things I'll get in, and that's why he so easily assumes the mantle of Kraven the Hunter as instead of Kraven 87. But one of the problems that I'll get into in the next issue, which is a kind of a spoiler, is that this Kraven seems to like assume that he is the original Kraven, and in a way it's weird because again, clone memories, it's inconsistent as hell. But like he kind of assumes that he is the original Kraven the Hunter, even though he's well aware that he is a clone. It's weird.
I think they're just going to be doing that from now on.
Exactly.
Because we have we have Kraven now, and it's like, who cares,
Exactly. and there's a Kraven movie coming out, so you don't want to exactly go back and say, well, actually, he's Kraven 835. It's kind of exactly what Adam said. Why I think it's genius is that you now don't have to worry about the minutia of, well, we killed Kraven, we brought him back. No. Like he's now it's all fixed. He's Kraven. Yeah. He'll keep coming back and he'll be cloning himself. It's fine.
Well, no, just as a general thing, I'm okay with Kraven acting as though he's the Kraven the Hunter,
right.
But it's under the assumption that he is aware that he is a clone. Like if he it's weird because
I know what you're saying. Here's the thing. Here's what I think where you don't have to worry about it as much, or it's not going to be that big of a deal. Is that to Craven, it doesn't matter. That's the best part.
And I think if you read ASM 23, that was the issue where he became the Craven the Hunter.
Yeah.
I kind of just assumed, like, as much as I was like raising an eyebrow over like whether he knows he's a clone, right? I think he's just taking his dad's words to heart and kind of just embracing being the Craven.
Yeah,
but it is kind of something that I did notice on one of my second read throughs of the issue.
No, to me, I always implied that like he might be where he's a clone, but it doesn't matter at this point. He is Craven, like Adam said, and so that's to the reader as who maybe just picking this up for the first time because they're Rick and Morty fans or whatever, or just go, oh, Craven. It's a great introduction, and you kind of get a little bit of an idea, but it doesn't get you lost enough to where you're like, what's going on? Why is he a clone? Like it's kind of it's dumbed down enough, and I say dumbed down, and I don't mean that in
it's watered down.
It's watered down. Yeah, thank you. That's a better way. Watered down enough to where you can accept it. So. Which, by the way, I think it shows you how great this comic is because we've talked about this for a long time. There's lots of great, subtle stuff in it, honestly.
Real quick, I'm gonna blow through the second issue just because, in terms of like plot, it's very thin, but like it's not in a bad way.
Are we ready to move on?
Yeah, I think so.
Zach, what were you saying, Zach?
I said it's the second half of this story.
Yeah, so let's go. Let's go for it, man.
Okay, so ASM. Oh, sorry.
No, I got the banner. So there it is. Bam. All right.
Okay. So ASM 80/legacy number 881. Again, I actually think that's one of the best decisions Marvel made editorially with the dual numbering. I think that's really smart.
Absolutely.
But anyway, same creative team: Ziegler, Dowling, Abertov, with Eric Arciniega as a guest colorist. But anyways, Ben is high as a kite. I wish I was him right now.
Best cover, I think, so far.
Yeah, Arthur Adams has been knocking it out of the park in terms of covers. I think this is maybe his best one, aside from maybe the second Morbius cover. I really liked that one.
Yeah, it's a good one.
But anyways, Ben is high as hell right now. You thought my college roommate was high? Ben's on another level of high, and he's seeing some stuff beyond the veil. He sees his memories with giant holes in their heads, which if you've read Next Wave or Captain America and the Mighty Avengers, you know what that means. It's the Beyond Corporation being bad. But anyways, Ben lands in a dumpster, and Marcus is trying to figure out where the hell Ben is, and Janine's trying to figure out where the hell he is, so she's spamming Marcus's cell phone, and Marcus lashes out and assumes that it's Janine again, but he just snapped at his boss. Oh no. Maxine's like, okay, when I have questions, we're gonna talk for a bit. And Ben wakes up from his high, and he gets some drugs. He gets different drugs that cure the ones he's having.
Which were actually brought forth. It's not like it's a random thing.
It was foreshadowed earlier in the issue.
We don't know what bit on, but Neil wants some. Listen,
but anyways,
I'm just saying.
Look, that stuff looks trippy as hell. That must be like that's like a Joe Rogan tier experience. But anyways, Ben and Craven fight over the pit that turned the Joker into the Joker, and Ben eventually manages to push Craven into one of the vats, and instead of bleaching his skin, Craven detonates a bomb. Hardcore origin story. But Ben inhales some fumes for a bit, and then eventually makes his way back to the Beyond Tower, where Marcus and a med team prep him and tell him to take the week off. Marcus then calls Maxine and gives him a status report, and she kind of lays on an option of nuclear, like a nuclear option of hard rebooting. And she turns her attention to legal matters that the Brooklyn Spider-Man will be taken care of before he can even think of becoming an issue for the Beyond Corporation. To be continued in ASM 81, But wait, there's more. In an end credits sequence from the Marvel Cinematic Universe, Aunt May goes to an unnamed diner where she meets her old flame, Dr. Otto Octavius. And they sit down, and Aunt May whispers in his ear, I need a very specific heat that only you can give for me. And Otto's horny sweat kicks into overdrive.
That is true.
And he says, but before we start, I'll need to grab my work suit, aka the best suit he's ever worn, ever.
Mm-hmm.
To be continued in ASM 80.ba.
Yeah.
So, okay, let's go around the horn for grades. Paul, you started off this time.
Want to do this? Do you want me to start it off again? Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. So for me, I love this issue. I love the last issue. I really like this last issue. The artwork was phenomenal. I liked the artwork in the last issue a lot, and this issue made me go, "Whoa!" And again, you've heard me say this on plenty of podcasts before, potentially, but it's not just the actual art itself; it's the layouts, it's how it's presented, and Dowling. Yeah, like where he tells a great story. There is such a great fluidity to the story from the pictures and the art that he does and the layouts. It's really impressive. And when you're doing a trippy kind of, psychedelic thing, it's very easy to get over the top with it. And I felt Dowling he did a perfect balance of having just a real like craziness to it, but also having a sense of scale to it and knowing that it's crazy, but it's not like zany. Like if you look at the cover, which I like the cover, like Adam says, good cover. It looks like it's a big cartoon, and that's where when people put characters on psychedelic trips or whatever, it's usually like the Winnie the Pooh, pink elephants, all that crap, which is fine.
It is heffalumps, young man.
Irregardless, the thing is, the thing is with this, they balance it, and it gives a little bit of a darker edge to it, and again, part of it's the inking and the coloring, which this is an amazing combo. The art, the colors, the inker, all of it is just chef's kiss. This is great.
There is one panel that kind of caught me off guard in terms of how weirdly composed it is. It's the panel where Janine's trying to call Marcus, and then Ben's just there. Like it's not like an establishing panel of him being there. The pages with the Beyond Corp imagery and the hallucinations, those are some of my favorite panels out of this run.
This is fantastic. Like you can't see it very well, but this is great.
Actually, that's actually a pretty good view of it.
Yeah, it's fantastic. And I just want to say that it was great to see this kind of different take on the psychedelic with Spider-Man, and it was fun. And Kraven, the way they drew Kraven as like what he looked, Ben looked at him, he looks amazing. I kind of remember like, can they make that a character? He looks pretty cool. I mean, like legitimately looks awesome. And I loved the fact that Kraven, and I wanted to get back into this issue they kind of teased a little bit before, is that Kraven's testing Spider-Man not just because he wants to destroy Spider-Man or whatever, it's because he wants to test him because he knows like you're being a corporate stooge. Like it's like that whole idea of that corporation like structure.
I don't want the corporation to make you fat. I want you to be at your prime when we fight.
But it goes against the nature. And that's what Kraven's fighting is, right? So he's like, being a corporation and being someone else's puppet is not human nature. And that's what Kraven's fighting him for. And that's why I'm like, oh, yes, exactly. Yes.
There was literally a panel where Kraven says, reject modernity, return to monkey.
Exactly. And I freaking love it. Like, this is exactly why Kraven, and Kraven's not my favorite villain by any means, but if you write them like this, yes, this is exactly what I want to see from Kraven. And so, and I thought, again, Ziegler's giving Ben, he's a little bit funny, but again, he gives him a little more of individuality, and I really like that. And I had a couple laugh out loud moments. It was a great comic, man. And if the cover turns people off, which I can see why a little bit if you don't know what's going on, honestly, these two issues are a must read if you're a Spider-Man fan, in my opinion. I think they're great. I've always liked the costume from this, or I liked it from this this new Ben version of costume. I thought Gleason drew a fine version, whatever. The costume that's drawn in these last two issues, I think is awesome. I am 100% into this costume. I love it. I love the side spider, and I think I know why I like it more than I like the original Ben Reilly costume. It's the white glove, the white webbing around the wrist. I am not a fan of the white webbing. Oh, I said that fast.
Web shooters.
Why webbing?
I hate you. Yeah, but yeah, like I don't like the white around the web shooters as much. I mean, it's fine. I don't think it looks terrible, but this costume not having it, it has such a sleek little look to it. I love it. I think it looks fantastic.
I'm glad he's coming back. Michael Dowling is coming back for ASM 88.
When they eventually get to Peter coming back and they have a new writing team, it should be Jed McKay, Howling, Gleason.
I honestly think the Black Cat team, which was McKay, CF Villa, and Dowling was part of this team. So honestly, get that team back together. Plus Gleason, you've got something there.
No, right. And I think, and I've read Black Cat, which I'm gonna eventually reread because I've really liked McKay. Has just been like.
Moon Knight, I know you love Moon Knight. We'll actually talk about him next issue.
Oh God, Moon Knight's so good. And again, I'll shut up now. One last thing is that I think this is such a great. These two issues have been so great. I'm really, really happy, and I think this has kind of made me like the Beyond run and storyline even more. It makes me honestly want to go back and reread the previous issues to see how it flows, because it does. They definitely feel like they're flowing a certain way, and I like where they're going with it. I know it's been uneven for people, but I think the story they have been going on right now that I think they're going on is really, really cool, and I think it's going to end up presenting us in a better Ben Reilly at the end, which I think is kind of the goal of this run a little bit, is to kind of give us a Spider-Man take, that he can be Spider-Man, but really, obviously, Peter Parker Spider-Man, but the Scarlet Spider returning eventually is what we're going to get. And I'm excited to see where this new version of Ben is going to be, because he's need to be not retconned, but retooled for so long. Yeah. And I feel like we're getting that finally in these last two issues, hints of that. And I'm really excited.
Okay. Next grade. Adam, what's your grade?
I give it another B+.
All right. Let me pull that banner. There we go. I did it. I did a thing. Yay.
I think what I like the most for this one was Ben's acid trip. Because the art steps up a notch with that stuff, and then you have Ben questioning his whole identity again, and just wondering if he can really, if he is the guy to do this whole Spider-Man thing. And then as we go through the issue, he fights Kraven, and he has this renewed sense of self and purpose, it seems, where he's going to be Spider-Man and he's going to do it his own way. And I thought that was interesting. And I'm still kind of I kind of agree with Paul that they're trying to retool Ben Reilly, but I'm almost kind of I'm still wondering what's the catch? I feel like at the end of this, it's either going to be, okay, we retooled Ben Reilly and he's going to be around and he's going to be hanging out with Peter more, or they're going to do something really bad to him.
Oh no, they're basically holding Janine as a hostage. I guarantee Peter's going to come back gradually. It's not going to be I'm back guys. But it's eventually going to be Beyond Corporation sees Peter as, I guess, competition. I imagine that's. Yeah. I guarantee they're the ones that hired the UFOs to wreck shit up.
So for sure. Yeah.
That seemed to be.
But now Peter's back, and they're Ben, we want you to go nuke Spider-Man, 25 kill streak, attack nuke, let's go. And Ben says, no, I don't want to. I want to be Spider-Man with him. Yeah. And they go, okay, we're gonna kill Janine. Gun to her head. go kill him, and Ben's gonna go, well, okay, I guess I gotta go fight Peter. And then suddenly Goblin Queen comes in, or Queen Goblin.
Do you think that he'll? Because right now we have Kane as kind of a quasi Scarlet Spider.
I don't even know where he is. He's gone.
Right? No, I agree. But go ahead, Adam. What are you gonna say?
Actually, one thing I want to say real quick is,
Yeah.
what are the odds that that dream at the very beginning, that Peter had? What are the odds that that was actually Ben's dream?
Do you think they're gonna like try and do a Superman Reborn where they trying to combine the two together? Or
I actually don't know that, but that would. I actually saw someone say that somewhere, say that a million times.
What dream is it again?
the one where
And
like
with
it's Kindred.
Uncle Ben's-
It's what Kindred
Yeah.
really meant by confess, where Peter stole some gum.
Well, at the opening, the opening of 75 was Peter has this dream about, you know, he stole from a convenience store and Aunt May.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Aunt May tells him to, you know, give it back, and then he talks to Uncle Ben, but Uncle Ben turns around and he's got a huge hole in his face, which is the Beyond calling card as we know from Neil. But the thing is we've seen Ben like have trouble with his memory, and
Yeah.
we see him in this psychedelic trip, and all of these Spider-Man memories that are laid out before him, they're holes in the faces. So I'm kind of wondering if maybe that wasn't actually Peter's dream. We just like we smash cut to Peter waking up from having
Right.
that dream.
Yeah.
But that was actually like Ben, maybe.
That you know what that yeah, I think that's on the money.
I actually never thought of that. That's some good.
That's great.
I can't take full credit for that because I think I saw someone else mention it, but you look at it and it seems to be a parallel because it is weird that, you know, I don't know.
No, that's a really good point. I didn't think about that. The reason I brought up Kane though, because they're obviously like you said, Adam. They're fixing Ben, like, or they're doing something to Ben, and I'm wondering if are they going to turn him into like an anti-hero again? Like, but I think that's too much like what Slott tried to do, and it just didn't work.
I think that also. I think
Kane's
that
kind of the.
I was about to say
bad
Yeah.
that kind of leans too far into Kane's.
So here's my question, like, because I love Kane's costume, by the way, and he's a Scarlet Spider, and Ben references a Scarlet Spider at one point. Are these two characters going to be Scarlet Spiders together, or does he take a whole new moniker altogether after this? And
Blood Spider.
that exists, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, that's from a ASM Michelini era, I think,
Yeah.
right? Where like
That was
the Trackmaster or Taskmaster.
Yeah, Michael Bingham.
Yeah, and but I mean, you get what I'm saying. Like, I'm just kind of curious where if he would become Scarlet Spider, because he can't be Spider-Man. You already have Miles and Peter. That two is enough. You can have two. That's it. Like, you can do no more. So I just curious where they're going with it because I think they're leading up to the fact that he wants to prove that he's Spider-Man so much. What does that mean for Ben? Because I don't think it means him being Spider-Man at one point. I think it means him learning, giving his own agency, his own individuality, and becoming his own person. Does that mean donning the Scarlet Spider moniker back, or does it mean taking a whole new step forward, which I think is very possible?
Yeah, because since 1996 when Ben died?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Since
6 or
1996, I think Kane has arguably become, I don't want to say more deserving of Scarlet Spider than Ben has, but he's changed into something completely different.
Yeah.
So I think it'll be, I don't want to say it would be rude of Ben to just say, okay, I want my name back, because it's essentially the Beyond storyline again. But I think that it'd be better suited if Kane was allowed to keep Scarlet Spider, because he's made it into his own brand, as it were. I think it would be thematically. Oh, bye, Zach. I think it would be thematically important for him to take on a new identity.
But here's the one thing with Kane, though, and curious, Adam, if you agree with me on this one, but you could just call him Kane. Like, he doesn't have to have a name, too, right? He could just be Kane. So I think that's fair enough.
But I want him to be Scarlet Spider.
No, I agree. I'm down with that. I think the Chris Yost Scarlet Spider run is vastly underrated. I think it's a solid series.
I'm still waiting for him to find Hummingbird so they can be partners.
Oh yeah, Hummingbird, dude. When Craven took on Scarlet Spider, that was my jam. That was
during like the last Scarlet Spider.
Yeah, when like he embraces the other.
See,
I
love
that.
The reason I don't like it as much is because it's basically an offshoot of Grim Hunt, which is again tying into we're doing Last Hunt again stuff, you know.
Well, I liked Grim Hunt, so.
Jeez. I think what this is all going to lead to. It's just
fingers. Finger game. Let's go.
I'm just joking. I do like Grim Hunt though. I like a lot of that stuff. I think a lot more than other people do.
It's not necessarily my problem with Grim Hunt. It's that they haven't done anything with it after it. It took Spencer undoing it for something to actually come of it.
I'll say this about Grim Hunt, and I'll shut up for a while. I did. Sorry, Adam. I really like the very end when he takes a family and he's like, we're going to go to Savage Land. And it shows them like it's like back in the picture, and it's like them with dinosaurs, and I'm like, all right, and they never followed up with it.
Honestly, if they had actually done something with Craven that wasn't just going back to Grim Hunt and by extension Last Hunt,
yeah,
I would have been a lot more accepting of it.
I get you. So, Adam, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to hijack. I keep hijacking Adam. I'm sorry.
It's okay. That's the entire point of this show. We overtake Adam.
No, I love Adam too much.
I wanted to make the joke that what this is all going to culminate in is they're going to do a riff on that What If issue where Peter and Peter and the clone switched off being Peter Parker and Spider-Man.
Oh yeah, and the clone married MJ, right? No, that's a different one.
That was a different one.
But do we want to move on to the next one? Or do we get Zach's opinions real quick? If we can get Zach on.
If we can get Zach on, yeah. Zach, you hear us? I don't think so.
Okay, hang on.
Okay, can you hear me now? For freaking hell's sake!
Yes, I can kind of hear you.
Oh yeah, actually, I think it actually sounds better.
I don't even want to talk about it right now. I don't know what's going on with my board.
Zach, give me your grade, or give me your thoughts.
Okay, so great issue. I've had all sorts of problems tonight, and I do not know why. Great issue. I thought the sequence with the missing faces was great. I do like how there is a little bit of I'm not a man, I'm a clone.
I'm a real boy.
Paul remembers what I'm talking about because that was like the thing inside the 90s.
That's all it was.
Like especially like the first 4 months of the Clone Saga. So
when you add Kane with that too, right? When you put Riley and Kane both be like, I'm so depressed, I'm a clone, Peter's got MJ.
I'm a degenerate.
That's because we didn't know what Kane was. He was in the shadows. Remember that was in the shadows was the Kane joke.
He's what we do in the shadows.
Yeah. So I liked the two-place splash. I thought that was phenomenal. That was a good use of a preview for the issue, even though it was not like the first page of it. I did like the way Janine was portrayed in this. She actually felt like a character and not just
it felt like she had agency in this issue.
Yes,
that's true.
And so I feel like that she was well written. I do like the fact that the guy at the end of the story is like, okay, I realizing he can't just have Ben operate as
a drone.
He is a human. He is a man. He does have needs. He does have wants and desires, and has things that he's got to do beyond beyond corporations.
Beyond.
So I think it worked. Yeah. So I think that. Like I say, I think that there's a good chance that we're getting some momentum. Ziegler was good. The scripting was good. I didn't feel like the Miles Morales backup that he did was awful.
Oh yeah, that was god awful.
It was bad. It was legitimately bad. But this issue I thought was really, really well done. A pupper. That would be probably Wayland and or Daisy.
You know, and I want to say too, you kind of joked about it earlier, Neil, about an end credit scene for this issue, and for a la MCU. But I gotta tell you, I thought I liked the idea of doing an end credit scene like in the comic books. I'm not sure if it was a different artist or not, but it was the same artist.
It was the same one. It was Dowling.
But either way,
it was a different colorist though, which I think added a bit more visual flair to it.
Which I like the other colors better. But with that being said, I really like the idea of having like an end coda with a comic book like this. It felt very natural and it didn't feel like an end credit like we're trying to make the MCU. But I see your comparison completely, and it's fair. I like that idea though of saving like this little end thing, and I loved where it's going. It uses all that history with Doc Ock and oh man,
this is a way. To me, this is the way to make the tie-in issues actually count.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think what they've done is actually kind of smart because, like, with the Misty Knight and Colleen Wing issue, or we'll just say the Daughters of the Dragon issue, I'm hoping this operates in a way that doesn't like intrude on the main storyline. Like, if you don't read this issue, but if it's in your pull list, your LCS is going to do it anyways. So, oh well.
Yeah. Thank God.
But if you don't read it, like hopefully it just cuts to like Aunt May recruiting Otto, but it shows her recruiting Otto, and then hopefully within the issue within ASM 81 or 82, you can kind of make the assumption and connect the dots by yourself that Otto did something to get Peter out of Coma Town.
Exactly. Exactly.
How rad would that be to have Doc Ock helping Peter come back
again?
Oh, dude, that'd be so rad. Dude, I'm telling you, I love that. I love that idea a lot.
It seems like I've read that story before where Peter Parker was dying and the only person that could save him was Otto Octavius.
But you know what? I understand it's a fair criticism, but at the same time, with this story, it makes sense, and it would make story sense for Otto to do that and to give some kind of a thank you to Peter a little bit as well about their interact. I don't know. I like it. I like this where they're going with it. I think it totally works.
It's also been 20 years, so they can retread it. Sure, why not?
It's like you can do it every once in a while. You can do a greatest hits rerun.
Yeah. Listen, if they give it as a homage, because remember, we don't know how much of Otto's memories have been restored.
No, they were all restored at the end of Superior.
Yeah,
but not with Spencer though, because remember he died, and then sorry, Zach, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was gonna say there was still gaps in his memory. That was the whole point of him being recruited by Kindred. But if they're referencing that original story, if you recall, at the end, Otto knew who Peter was by the end of that story, and so. Now, granted, he got to find out only to be jobbed out to Kane, and I think one of the worst, like long term, was one of the worst decisions of the Clone Saga, but I did enjoy the resurrection story that DeFalco spun.
I will say it was neat having Otto spill his spaghetti in front of Aunt May. Like the weird horny sweat he does. I thought that was kind of funny.
Well, see, I don't know. See, I think I see what you're saying with the horny sweat. I didn't look at that as horny, but I know what you're trying to say.
Well, but like going off of Cody Ziegler's Twitter, where he goes like the Beyond issue is horny as hell. Yeah, I think that was the implication.
Maybe, but see, I read it. And I don't follow him on Twitter, but when I read that scene and looked at the picture, it almost felt like he was being nervous for what it could mean, everything that's going on. It could mean. So that's what I thought.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm trying to figure out where each of us goes. Okay, do we want to go into Doctor Strange because I want to talk about this one?
Yes.
Yeah, because we're at 2 hours and I don't want this to be a 5-hour podcast.
Okay, so Death of Doctor
Strange. Up.
Well, Death of Doctor Strange, Spider-Man #1, written by your boy Jed McKay, and the returning bane of my existence, Marcelo Ferreira, with inks by Wayne Foucher and colors by Andrew Crossley, with Peter Pantazis. And what a shock coming into this issue. What the fuck? The art's really good. What happened?
Dude, he's good, man. I'm
Did
telling you.
like this is a serious step up from his time on ASM. Like I think on ASM, I don't think any of us liked his line work.
I thought it was fine.
Well, I mean, but it's like, like it was subpar for like the flagship title of Marvel. But
that cover though is
it's Gregland.
It's just another Gregland cover, and I'm just like, no.
It's really the same as like his symbiote Spider-Man covers from Alien Reality.
That's true.
But I think Wayne Fontra's inks also help in this issue too.
But that's the same guy who inked him in ASM though, so I'm trying to figure out what the problem is. Is it just that like he had no time on this issue?
I think it's the coloring.
Oh yeah, Hollowell. Hollowell can blow my ass. Just saying that right now.
All right.
Whoa.
I mean, you've heard my comments about Hollowell before, so you know I'm not a big fan of his.
Go ahead, Neil. Sorry.
It's also probably not as bad on a deadline as the one he was
it's
on.
a one shot.
Yeah. So there was time. Yeah.
But anyways, Felicia is in the hospital visiting Peter. Suspiciously, MJ is gone. We don't ask questions in this house. But anyways, Ben comes to visit, and Ben and Felicia have a little bit of a tiff before all of a sudden magic. Doctor Strange comes and says, "Hey man, so my beard is gray now. Please take care of my laundry list while I'm gone, because I just died. Thanks, bye." And Ben and Felicia both visit the Sanctum Sanctorum and find Wong, who has another Doctor Strange behind him. You have to read the main series for that. And Ben even remembers his time in the Midnight Suns when he was in Damnation. But Ben and Felicia are given a laundry list of things to do, which include fighting the Gator Shaman, fighting or stopping the Hungry Prince of Hearts. Moon Knight cameo. Moon Knight killed the Prince of Hearts. Great cameo. Once again, Jed McKay making good use of his own little universe that he's built up of his own characters. Ensuring the spirit of Mammon remains bound in bronze, which I think is the Wall Street Bull. I think that was the implication, is the Wall Street Bull is the spirit of Mammon. Yes. Fighting Dr. Seuss Asian caricatures. Exercising the 666 train. Feeding the Central Park Dragon hot dogs. Mummies. And eventually Ben and Felicia have a talk about like what Doctor Strange means, and how people kind of take him for granted because they're doing all this stuff that he kind of just did casually. This was a day in the life for him, and they're not really sure how he handles it. But anyways, they fight some goblins under the caption 21. I'm almost certain those damned goblins will be back. So they fight the goblins, and they save a homeless person from being run over by a bunch of them going on a joyride. This is essentially Slimer. These guys are basically just Slimer. But they get out of costume for their last thing. Bring Janima Garcia a pretzel at the end of her shift and make sure she gets on her bus safely. So this is honestly one of my favorite moments of the month is Ben and Felicia doing Doctor Strange's work and giving a lady who works at, I believe, at a hospital as a janitor, just making sure she gets a nice warm pretzel and making sure she's okay.
She left her crew to watch after Peter. I also thought that was funny. That was a reference to her series.
Oh yeah, the Sunny and I forgot the other one's name.
Yeah, her best guys are on it though.
Yeah, it's her, and they even cut to them watching Elvis movies while Peter's in a coma. Imagine if they touched him and he woke up.
Right.
What would the implication be?
Right. Be like, who the fuck are you?
I'm Mary Jane. This is Black Cat.
Yeah.
But Felicia. But as Janima gets on her bus, they have a little bit of another tiff, and Ben makes a point that right now, even though Miles Morales, maybe he'll be Spider-Man, but right now he's what they've got, and they got you to accept that. And Felicia kind of accepts it and says, but I'm going to get him out of that bed. And I like this little line that, I'm going to get him out of the bed. And Ben says, I also more concerned with getting him into it. But basically she says, until Peter's out of that bed, you're Spider-Man. Get to work, and that's it. Just to start off the grades, I'm gonna give it an A. This issue was great. It maintains my position that Jed MacKay should be the Spider-Man writer after Beyond ends. Honestly, I'd be willing to give it an A+, except for some weird coloring choices and incomplete line art. But unironically, I think this is maybe one of the best things that come out of the Beyond status quo.
Paul, your grade?
I'm gonna give this another A. Do you want me to review, or are going about the versus for grades only?
Let's go through grades real quick.
Let's go through grades real quick,
Okay.
and then
Go ahead. A for me.
Adam's grade.
Not available. I did not read this,
Oh,
Okay.
but I skimmed through it and I like the art. So there you go.
All right, and then I'm giving this an A+.
wow.
I really, even though I read this literally as we were recording the show, I enjoyed
just
it.
skimmed through it right now.
I enjoyed it quite much, actually. This was the most Ben Reilly I feel like that we've seen, even beyond the ASM issue. This really, Paul, you'll remember this. The Spider-Man Unlimited issue, the first one after Ben became Spider-Man, and Adam, you may remember this too. This feels like its spiritual successor. Really and truly the last time that Ben and Black Cat had a meaningful interaction. Because Black Cat really wasn't involved. That was when she was in her Queenpin days during Clone Conspiracy. She hasn't been around, obviously, during the Las Vegas stuff. I did like the little nod to Las Vegas that, we're not just acknowledging that. I liked the overall tone and tenor of the book. I thought it was really good. And I think that this best one shot of the year.
Ooh. Oh, that's a big
for Spider-Man. Specifically for Spider-Man.
Oh, okay. Because okay, I'm
not talking about Marvel in general, but in terms of Spider-Man in general, best Spider-Man one shot of the year.
All right.
Yeah, I haven't read that Unlimited comic actually.
Oh, you got that is it's now in that issue she was far more flirtatious with Ben.
Right.
But it's it's one of the better issues of Unlimited.
I liked Unlimited.
Unlimited had some really good issues. I thought the Thunderstrike team up issue was good. The
Sinister Six. Whatever the Sinister, where Ben takes on a Scarlet Spider and the Sinister Six people. I love that comic. Ron Lim, baby.
Yeah. The part 5 of Mark of Cain. That's really not part 5.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
For branding purposes, and it has nothing to do with the rest of the story. But yeah, no, that was the one where Cain was inexplicably wearing a Spider-Man costume over his actual costume. Like that entire issue is bonkers. I mean, there were some, there was some clunkers. God rest his soul. Tom Lyle writing Spider-Man was not
is a different thing from drawing Spider-Man.
It was completely different. He was not the best writer, and then they gave him Unlimited, so that's like the equivalent of like 2.5 issues, because it's the quarterly book. So it's not. I think it was like 48 pages, 64 with ads. So, and see, when they first started Unlimited, they would do like multiple stories after Maximum Carnage, and so you had backups. You had 2 or 3 backup stories that were like referencing other stuff. But yeah, this issue, the Black Cat Ben issue was exceptional. Then this is the best one of their interaction. Really, really, extremely well done. Jed MacKay gets the character.
Both of
gets
them.
It. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, obviously. Sorry, go ahead, Neil.
Can I just say that I love the kind of not like the platonic love that Felicia has for Peter. Like one of the things that has kind of concerned me is like people trying to get back on the Felicia Peter train, and it's like that train's kind of passed, but like Felicia still cares about Peter immensely, and I love that like she's a recurring presence in this book now.
Yeah.
Like part of the problem is that like when she was in her solo book, she like just completely vanished from ASM, even though she had a pretty strong presence in the first 25 issues.
Yeah.
And then once her solo started, she kind of just disappeared off the face of the earth in that book. And then she only appeared she didn't even appear in Sinister War. That was a Mysterio hallucination.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's good to see her have a more substantial presence as a supporting cast member, especially now that she's working to get him back in the suit with Captain America.
Yeah, it's this issue was again the previous Beyond issue, Point Beyond or Point Bay is what you want to call it.
I'm calling them Bay issues.
Yeah, Point Bay.
That's what I was calling them.
The Point Bay issue with the dragons, Sisterhood, whatever dragons issue, it was fine. Yeah, it's always fine.
You should imagine dragons though.
I just it was fine. I thought Jed McKay wrote a fine issue. This one was definitely definitely an indication of what he could do with the character with the characters, I should say. Obviously, Ben's not Peter Parker, but he's Peter Parker light.
He's the best thing they've got right now until Miles is of age.
Well, yeah, but regardless is that Jed McKay has shown, besides obviously in his own books, but he can write. Obviously, he's a really solid writer, and his stuff is like and that's the thing with Jed McKay. I think, and this is not meant as a slight, but Jed McKay's writing is not like mind-blowingly amazing, but it's just goddamn good. Like, it's just not bad. It's just like you read it, you're like, yeah, I got a good 22-page comic book out of that. His Moon Knight has been non-stop like that. His Taskmaster mini was fantastic.
His Black Cats. I know we've mentioned Black Cat, but that book's phenomenal as is.
I need to read. I haven't connected to that. I tried rereading it recently, and I told my friend Peter that I would go and read it. And I'm going to, Peter. I promise.
Skip those first 5 issues.
You were telling me that. I've already read the first 3. I'm almost going to finish it, but and I won't revisit it again after that. But besides that, I really liked what he's done, and this issue, I felt that he really did a great job of giving Ben, again. I talk about giving him his own agency, his individuality. He's trying to find himself. And again, this is an example, I think, of him having the template of what the Beyond arc is supposed to be and him gravitating towards that, like Ziglar did in the other 2 issues. It definitely feels that this is where I think that Ben is on that trajectory of finding his individuality because he's trying to find value in what Peter's loved ones are. I mean, that's why when him and Felicia are talking, and he's trying to he's playing off of it, but he's trying to get her approval at the same time. And that's the thing about it. It's so great is that Ben is trying to give back to these characters because he wants to be Spider-Man. He wants to be that person that Peter is because Peter's a good person. And I like the fact that he's doing this for Doctor Strange. Again, the whole idea of he's trying to be Peter, someone that he's not, which is not a bad thing because he's doing these great things for Doctor Strange. But the fact that he's doing them for Peter, he's finding value in that, and he's trying to find himself within these things that Spider-Man is. And I think eventually he'll learn that he can be himself. And again, maybe he won't. Maybe he'll just be, wanting to be Spider-Man forever. I don't know. But it feels like they're really driving home the fact that Ben is looking for belonging, whereas before Ben was just kind of like, I'm crazy scientist and cloning people. And now it feels like we're getting a Ben who actually cares about people, and he cares about what these people that love Spider-Man and Peter, that he wants that same respect and love, not in a respect me because I'm Peter, but he wants to feel that appreciation and love and respect that Peter has. And it feels that issue kind of is, again, it's not predominantly hit you over the head with it, but there's elements there with it. And I think it's important that where they're going with the story. And I love everything in this. It was so much fun. And again, one of the things about the periodical 22-page comic books is that there is a true art to writing 22 pages. And it is a lost art in a lot of ways. So a lot of times it's, all right for the trade, right for the trade, right for the trade. And with these one shots, it really, I think to me, shows the beauty of doing a 22 page or 20 plus page story, one and done, that you can have some fun stuff in there. And this is exactly why I love, and it feels like they're doing this more maybe in like these fun little one shot Bay issues or whatever in Marvel. But I feel like these one shots are so much fun. Just put them in the main series. You know,
I honestly think it's maybe not necessarily for the best, but these seem to be the ones that have like the least like linearity to them, if that makes sense. And that's because I think that assists in it being the one where the writers get to kind of stretch their legs and go for a little bit of a sprint rather than kind of just along the editorial path. They get to have a bit more flexibility and fun with the premise.
Right. But here's the thing. I mean, I think it's harder. I would say it's probably harder to write. Maybe I'm wrong, but I would say it might be harder to write a 22 page one and done than it is to write a, an ongoing 5 part story where at least you can have like a trajectory of where you want to take the story and where you can take it. 22 pages, you got to wrap up everything in a one and done kind of a thing. And it's, you have to find that right narrative. And he finds it, again, with the whole Doctor Strange thing, super fun, creative. I love the Moon Knight cameo. I mean, there's just lots of fun things you do. And it's like, it's only 20 plus pages. It's not a big book. So it shows you how talented he is and what Jed can do with little. And that, again, I always say, the whole, that parable, I guess you would say, that he who can be trusted with little can be trusted with many, right? So, and that's, or few, I should say, he who can be trusted with few can be trusted with many. And it really does, it's evident in this, in a very short story, Jed kills it. And he needs to be on Spider-Man. There's no doubt. After reading Moon Knight the last few issues, which I liked the first 2 issues of Moon Knight, but it just keeps getting better and better and better. And I'm like, man, and I love Taskmaster. The Taskmaster mini was so much fun. They need to put him on Spider-Man full time. And I think that's definitely I think the fact that he's playing these one shots, I think it's going to happen. I think he'll be writing Spider-Man by the time the Beyond's done.
They're planting the seeds right now.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe, I kind of wish they would lean a bit more into like the wacky stuff. Maybe that's just me. Like have Peter and Felicia, or not Peter and Felicia, Ben and Felicia doing some wacky stuff, like Gator Shaman.
Yeah,
like I feel like that's what the main title is afraid to kind of lean into, like the weird beyond. That's not beyond stuff specifically, but like weird magic stuff.
Well, I mean, that's not what they're going for either. I mean, because again, the whole story of Beyond is they're a corporation, and I know they're doing like crazy, interdimensional things that you were talking about, but that's not really what the story is about. And they could have those, and again, you can have those one-shot stories in there, but I think I don't know, the craziness and the zaniness you can do, but there's the trajectory for the main series seems to be it's a lot more not condensed, but the story they're trying to tell, there's a very distinct path. I think Adam, you probably would agree with this, and maybe I'm wrong, but it feels way more focused where they have to go. Whereas these one shots can be a lot more forgiving in a sense of like, yeah, you can just go off and do crazy Gator Shaman in this. Whereas in the main series, you've got to deal with Peter, the family. There's a lot going on in this series narratively that you can't just have a one-shot fun kind of insanity thing. Because I think the Morbius thing is going to come back. Everything that's going on in these issues is going to come back at some point in one way or another. So I feel like there's a lot more focused storytelling in that Beyond series. Because again, he says, Zeb Wells, but Nick Lowe says himself, 19 issues. This is a 19-part storyline. So it is tight what they're doing.
Yeah, they have a plan, and if they include this as an ASM issue, it kind of ruins the plan a little bit.
It makes it, yeah.
It does interrupt the flow a little bit. This feels more.
It's great,
Doctor Strange.
Yeah, it's like it's great, and I want more of it, but it's like this is not the overarching plot. It's a little detour, and yeah. Which, isn't a bad thing, but
yeah. Like I said, I hope that if/when McKay takes over ASM, hashtag McKay for ASM 2022, we kind of get more like a bit more of what the Beyond board has kind of set up, not necessarily in terms of like status quo, but like oh, bye Paul. Okay, Adam, it's just you and me. Want to talk about Transformers now? Oh shit, no, Adam's back. Damn it, I can't talk about Transformers.
I never left.
If I unplug, if I accidentally unplugged my Yeti, and if I unplug it and plug it back in, and it like kicks me off StreamYard, it's super weird.
Yeah, because you don't have any input devices, so. But like having like this kind of core cast of characters like Peter, MJ, Aunt May, and Felicia as like the main roster of characters, I think it would harken back to what JMS did, where like Peter, MJ, and Aunt May were the main characters, and like there was a couple of side characters, but the thematic focus was mainly on them.
Yep.
But now that Black Cat's ending, I kind of see McKay seeing ASM as like a vehicle to bring her back or to write her again, and I'm okay with that. I like his dynamic with McKay's Peter and Felicia. Yeah, I don't really have much to add other than this is a really good issue that even though it would have broken the flow of Beyond, I gladly would have had this in the same listing if it was on my poll list.
But I think that's the one advantage. This is why I don't like him announcing there's 19 issues. Like, this is a 19-part storyline. Just if you had it more open, you could have these breaks, I think.
Well, yeah, I think mainly I get why he did it though, because
even
like
that though, I think that like, sorry Neil, let me say this real quick. Even that, I think like I do think they have with Amazing Spider-Man specifically. I think there is a plan numbers wise.
Exactly.
So they, and then this 19 issue thing, it fits within that. So like that's why the Beyond issues, the Bay issues, that's why those aren't part of the main thing, because that's gonna fudge the numbering. Like we're having this be 19 issues so that we get to 693 or whatever, or not 693. What is it? 893 or something? It's gonna be when this is all over or whatever. It's gonna be really close to 900. So like, if we add these things, we're gonna get to 900 closer than we want to, and we can't do that. Even though it's like, who really cares? Like, the milestone issue, there should probably be a big thing for it, but also maybe we should just treat that like a regular issue.
So would you want would you want 100 or I don't know 8 or 900 to be like when they announce a new creative team and just have the Beyond board still, or not necessarily officially the Beyond board, but like the writers of the Beyond board stay on and just kind of keep doing new stories, or
I think they should be in a. How do I sound, by the way?
You sound a little low, but like, are you saying they should be like an unofficial capacity until like the new writers announced for ASM 100? Or
listen, I think that somebody's going to do a small arc, or they said it was going to be 19 parts, so we're at part 6, so we're about a third of the way there. Mm-hmm. So as a result of that, I think that really does bode well for, they're going to get a chance to kind of get some momentum. I think starting with 900 may be a mistake in the sense of the expectations will be high. Whereas if you start right before 900 and then build up to it, I think you'll be fine.
Okay. Oh, Paul just fucked out. So
I've been having a lot of technical difficulties.
Yeah, I need to head over there one day so I can fix it in person.
Yeah. I don't know why the when I'm using the board, it sounds so low. That part I don't understand.
But so I think the general consensus here is McKay for ASM.
I'm not opposed to it.
But just going around, the consensus I've seen has been McKay gets Spider-Man, let him write the ongoing once Beyond ends. So do you want to do solicits now, Zach?
Yeah, let's do solicits. That sounds like a great plan.
Okay, so do we want to do all ASM, all Spider-Man books, or just ASM? Because I got some stuff I want to talk about outside of it.
Let's do all. As long as it's Spidey related, I'm fine with that.
Okay. Well, She-Hulk's back. That's not Spider-Man related.
But yay, she's back. That's cool.
So I guess this is kind of relevant. Superior 4, where Dr. Octopus is recruiting a new Fantastic Four's worth of
Oh yeah, huh.
Dr. Octopuses.
That's interesting.
Which looks fun. I don't think it's like, major plot development worthy, but it's a Devil's Reign tie-in, so I don't think it's gonna last. But I like the idea of Otto in his Armani suit recruiting just
Yes.
a wacky superior,
Yes.
a wacky Sinister Four.
The best Otto ever.
Devil's Reign villains for hire. So I guess U.S. agents cucked out to the military again.
Oh no! Why?
That's not relevant.
Why do we have
X-Men.
to use that word?
Devil's Reign Spider-Man. I gotta be honest, man. Carlos Gomez needs a different inker because his inks are coming in really incomplete. I can see like these weird gaps in his inks.
Doesn't he ink himself?
Yeah, I think so. But like you can see where it didn't really scan in properly right there.
Hmm.
I'm not sure if that's on purpose or not, but it looks really weird and
Yeah.
incomplete.
Well, he also does a lot of stuff digitally, so
That's
But
true.
actually, I think he does. I think he
that's
does the
the
covers physically. I'm not sure. I saw some kind of process.
There's a lot
thing he
of
did
Devil's Reign.
recently.
There's a lot of Devil's Reign stuff in here. I didn't realize that they were doing this much for Devil's Reign. I thought it was just gonna be a couple of titles. Spider Woman. This is the second longest. This is now the second longest volume of Spider Woman now.
I'm
like the
impressed
first arc of
considering the straight awful costume that started this book.
I like that costume. You watch
Yeah.
your mouth.
That's wrong.
I hate that costume, buddy. Sorry.
But this book feels like it's taken way. I'm okay with Spider Woman. It just kind of feels like the overarching plots have kind of just lasted too long. Let's do something new.
Are you saying the second longest of Jessica Drew?
Yes.
I think so.
Okay, I was gonna say because Maddie Franklin had about 20 issues.
Well, I mean, if it outruns that, then we are officially the second longest.
Well,
If
the
it
first
reaches number
series-
21,
The first series had at least 50, I think.
Yeah.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. The second longest.
Yeah. Ooh, slingers.
Yeah. So
That'll be cool.
So ASM 88.bay. Hobie Brown is no longer the Prowler. That goes to the now dead Aaron Davis. Now he is the Hornet now, and he's leading
Cool.
the Beyond Corp sponsored Slingers, noticeably without Prodigy, but okay.
Is it Hobie or Hobby?
It's
Hobie.
either or. It depends. It depends
it's
on who you
Hobie.
I know
ask.
Hobby, thank you very much. Hobie, come on, man. Come on.
I mean,
If there were two
No,
B's,
so
it would be
wait,
Hobby.
Wait. We have a new Hornet.
Yeah, it's
Hobie.
Hobie.
Hobie's the Hornet now, as of King in
Okay,
Black.
That makes sense considering.
Yeah, I
he
was gonna
co-created
say.
that costume.
Yeah, I was gonna say, wasn't he in that issue, Zach?
Yeah.
He designed the jetpack. And
Yeah,
then
so it's
Peter
perfect.
Kind of based the design. Peter and MJ did the design of the actual suit.
Mhm.
Hobie did the actual. He designed the hover pack, and the reason he couldn't use it was because it was too heavy. But because Peter had super strength,
Mhm.
he could wear it.
But
Now,
anyways,
that's how you do continuity.
Hobie is leading the Slingers now. I guess under the Beyond Corp. Under the Beyond Corp thumb.
That's
Which
gonna
is-
be interesting.
That's interesting to see, especially because he doesn't like corporate overlords. I want to see how this ties in.
Yeah.
But it's written by Jeffrey Thorne, who did Star Trek Titan books, and it is now doing the Green Lantern ongoing, which I've heard is not good. So
Oh no,
Jeffrey's doing it? Oh, I know Jeffrey. He's on the Perch live streams a ton.
you
Yeah.
sound very far away.
Oh, 'cause I know.
But art by Jan Bazaldua and Jim Toe, who did the last couple pages of ASM 78, I believe.
Yep. Okay.
And then Amazing Spider-Man. Spoilers. They accidentally spoiled the identity of the Queen Goblin on
Don't tell
the
me.
variant cup. It's literally right there.
I don't think it was an accident if it's right there.
I'm not looking. Not looking.
But here's the main cover.
Why did they put the variant cover? That makes no damn sense.
It's Games Radar. They put the variants in front all the time. It's the weird
Sometimes-
thing they do.
Sometimes they only get the variants, so that's why.
Yeah.
I think too.
Okay, but anyways, Zeb Wells is back with Michael Dowling. So
Yeah, I saw
Yay.
that. I saw our friends at Spider Talk were complaining about that about that today or the other day when these came
About
out.
about Queen Goblin or the variants?
Yeah, the variant being spoiling.
Spoiler. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to this one because Wells and Dowling. We all liked Dowling on the last issue. So.
Yeah.
ASM
See how-
ASM 89. Jesus Christ, that's a great Felicia right there. She's fighting the Queen Goblin. Written by Pat Gleason, art by Mark Bagley. So Bagley's not out of the ASM game yet.
My man, oh, that'll be gone. Oh.
Every once in a while, like we're considering backing out, and then they bring in Bagley, and Zach's like, "I'm back in, baby. I'm all in."
It's just so familiar.
Mark Bagley drawing Ben Reilly as Spider-Man.
It's comforting.
This is like Zach's like dream.
Like, give me.
I get to live Zach's childhood in the modern day.
Yeah.
That's a weird thought.
After that comic when Zach reads that comic book, he's gonna grab a nice bottle of lotion, if you know what I mean.
Jesus.
Listen, the bathroom's just around the corner. Okay. Pages
I don't
might
need
be
to know
sticking out.
that.
Okay,
I don't need to know that.
so anyways, moving away from that, ASM 90. We're officially now in the 90s, guys. How does it feel? I'm surprised I haven't relaunched by now.
We're not there yet.
I'm shocked that they didn't do it with the Beyond.
Yeah. So,
I think I'm ready for a new volume, actually.
Well, I think once they hit 100, they're gonna relaunch. I guarantee it.
No, just go to the fucking legacy numbering. No, I'm so sick of this bullshit. Okay?
Jesus Christ! Oh God, we set Zach off, guys.
But it is so freaking annoying when I'm sitting there like on a Marvel Unlimited and I'm trying to figure out, which volume of ASM am I going to be reading today? I can't just do a simple read through. No.
Holy shit.
Let's sit there. Do I have to go through? And look, this started in the 1990s. I was pissed off when I had to sit there and say,
during the Mackie Byrne reboot.
The Mackie Byrne reboot burned my ass, and the rest of them. So then the geniuses are like, well, let's relaunch again. And they finally figured this out during the JMS run. I'm like, okay, yeah, JMS 500, boom, from 500 on. We just use the damn legacy numbering. This is because I've been on for 2 hours and 46 minutes. I am so sick of, and it'd be different. Look at Avengers, right? Avengers is hitting 750, right?
You wouldn't know that if they didn't advertise it, though.
The legacy numbering is easy to remember. Add 700. It's 750 and 50. Fine. But because Slott had to write that one freaking issue.
Well, no, what they did was Avengers lasted 10 more, was like 10, it had to have 10 issues before it hit 700, so.
I get it.
And then they cheated by adding No Way Home in as part of the legacy numbering, so.
They cheated with Spider-Man by adding Renew
Your Vows, yeah.
And
but
Superior, which was never, which I get was supposed to be the replacement for Amazing Spider-Man, but
yeah, they wouldn't have done that back in the 90s.
No.
But anyways, let's keep going. So Pat Gleason is writing and drawing again because he's doing it for ASM 83, I believe. So Queen Goblin is triumphant. The Daily Bugle is decimated. That seems kind of weird because the Daily Bugle hasn't really been that relevant right now. So that's kind of a weird thing to just point out. So here's something that'll make Zach very happy. Ben Reilly's Spider-Man, including Spider Carnage, Lady Octopus, Skrull. Oh wait, no, that's Jackal.
That's Jackal.
That's 90s Jackal. That's Joker Jackal.
I don't know. I don't know why I thought of a Skrull.
Yeah, well,
he kind of looks like one.
It's the pointy ears. Okay, so I'll name all the characters. You've got.
This is not a good Left Wente cover.
It's all right.
Jackal's at the very top. You got Joystick. The Looter.
Yeah.
Lady Ock, and then that's right below Looter is.
I think this is Stunner, right?
That's Stunner. Yep.
And then there's Janine and Ben. So
yeah. La Fuente is the one that did the cover art. Looks like.
I mean, it's not a bad cover in terms of composition. Just kind of awkward faces. Like Looter's just kind of staring, and then like Ben and Janine are just kind of in the American Gothic. Miles Morales still ongoing somehow.
Hey, will you go back up? Yeah, go back up for a second. Did they have the variant covers on that?
Let me check.
That is the variant.
Oh, there's one.
And that's one too.
It looks
Oh,
like
that's the main one, I think.
No, is this Scroce?
Yeah.
That's that's not very good.
Oh damn, that's not a good Scroce cover. Ugh.
The other Scroce cover was God tier, but that one's like.
Anyways, Miles is fighting Quantum from Infinity. What was the one that Black had tied into? Infinity Infinite Destinies. That's it. I'm sure he's appeared somewhere before, but that's what I remember him from. But the Assessor's back.
I still don't understand why Miles has still got it ongoing. I don't like that costume.
Stop
that
This costume's terrible.
Stop. The costume's terrible, but he deserves his own ongoing. Stop that.
I'm not saying he doesn't. I don't know.
Oh yeah, Gwen covers. Oh, do we want to talk about Gwenverse, by the way?
No.
Not really.
No,
Okay.
I don't want to talk about Gwenverse.
Okay. Savage Spider-Man, which proves that Joe Kelly has lost his touch. And
wait, what?
This is Joe. This. Do you not know about Savage Spider-Man?
Who did the artwork on that?
That's
this
Bradshaw.
cover, it's a Bradshaw cover, but
I like Bradshaw.
But Gerardo Sandoval is doing the interiors. Carnage Forever, so Symbio Bro is going to be creaming his tights at this one.
We love you, Tyler.
Secret. That's not Spider-Man.
it.
That's not Spider-Man. No, there's a Silk. There's Silk in here. I'm getting the Silk.
Control F. Control F.
Oh yeah, I can Control F. Hang on.
Good
Oh
call. Thank you.
shit! I just shared the feedback hub. Never mind. Hang on.
Feedback hub.
Yeah, here we go.
Oh, there we
Silk,
go.
Luna Snow team up. I like this. This is good. Want more of
You're
it.
the only one that's gonna care about this one.
Ah,
This is why
okay.
I'm doing satellites with you, though.
Dark Ages. That counts because Spider Dad.
All right. So I gotta get going. I gotta eat dinner, man. I haven't eaten dinner yet.
All right, so yeah, we're about to wrap up the episode. I mean, we were.
Oh, he's in Tech. He's in Avengers Tech on the book that requires alcohol for me to get through it.
Oh God! All right, so let's start wrapping up this episode, shall we?
Yeah.
Sounds good.
All right, so of course this was a extra long, big episode. We want to thank Paul for being a part of it.
Thank you for having me and waiting for me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, you know,
It was fun.
we had a blast. This was a fun episode. Let us know what you think in the comments down below.
This was a very stretchy episode. We actually talked a little bit more out of our wheelhouse than we usually do. So
What's my
Yeah,
fault?
this was one of those that I think that you get to know the people involved. So
thank you, Paul, for making us buy time for you.
All right. All right, as we end this episode, we want to thank everyone for watching. If you're watching us on YouTube, if you're listening to us on the Spideydude Radio Network on your favorite podcast catcher, be sure to let us know what you think of us. And let us know what you think of the episode. Be sure to leave us a 5-star review on your favorite podcasting catcher, or if you are on YouTube watching us, even on the post, because you couldn't watch us live, leave a comment, give us a like, a share, and a subscribe. Let people know about this show if you enjoy what we're doing here on the Spideydude Experience. Got some big stuff cooking. Hopefully that'll be coming very, very soon. If you want to keep up with us, be sure to go to Twitter at Spideydude Radio, Instagram and Facebook at Spideydude Network. Follow us on YouTube, youtube.com/Spideydude Radio Network. If you want your voice to be heard on the show, you can leave us a voicemail at 818-925-6631. That's 818-925-6631. That is the voicemail line for all of our shows. So be sure to leave us your message, but also let us know what show you're talking about. We've got other shows next Thursday as to when this is being recorded. We'll be doing Make Mine Mayday's next episode. We'll be covering, that's wrong, it's actually 80 through 84, the next 5 issues of Spider-Girl. Really excited about that. If you like Paul, you can go to the Comic Binge YouTube page, Comic Binge YouTube channel. You can follow him at Herman22. Bogan Rider Variety Hour, twitch.tv/Quillsniv. So if you like Neil, you can follow him there. Once again, you can listen to our other shows on Voices from the Eerie, a Gargoyles podcast, and more. Once again, we want to thank everybody for watching and listening, and we'll see you here on the Spideydude Experience, a part of the Spideydude Radio Network.